In the 43-year history of the Centennial Conference, there has never been a game on the final day of the regular season that determined the football champion. Until today. Good afternoon and welcome to Tom Gilbert Field at Shattuck Stadium on the campus of Franklin and Marshall College for the Centennial Conference football championship game between the Diplomats and the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins. My name is Steve Ulrich. Temperature in the mid-50s, overcast skies, lights are on here at Shattuck Stadium in South Central Pennsylvania as we await a good one that will determine the 2025 Centennial champion. The Blue Jays are 9-0 in the year, ranked third by D3Football.com, as well as the American Football Coaches Association, and the top-ranked team according to the NCAA Power Index. The Diplomats are 8-1, ranked 24th nationally and number 21 in the NPI. Why do we keep referring to the NPI or the NCAA Power Index? Well, those rankings will determine the fate of both teams, as the 40-team NCAA championship bracket will be announced tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. Take a look at the standings. A pair of 6-0 teams rest on top of the Centennial table, Hopkins and Franklin and Marshall. We've had games in the past that have had championship implications on the last weekend of the season, but primarily that was a team that could secure the outright title with a win, or with a loss someone else could win and earn a share of the title. This is the first time since the conference was formed back in 1983 that two teams will play for the outright championship. Hopkins is the highest ranked team that F&M has ever encountered on the gridiron. Since 1999, when the first national rankings were available, the highest ranked team the Diplomats had taken on was number 5 Muhlenberg in Allentown in 2008. The highest ranked team the Blue and White has defeated was number 11 Muhlenberg as well, 16-15 in Lancaster in 2015. As you see on your screen, first time in 43 years, there's a look at the championship trophy. It's been around for 42 years and it sits beside me in the press box waiting to be presented to the winner of today's Hopkins and Franklin and Marshall contest. It is the 75th meeting between these two schools in a series that dates back to 1912. Johns Hopkins has won 4 in a row, 24 of the last 27, but just holds a 37-36 lead in the all-time series with 2 draws. In Lancaster, Hopkins leads 19-17. Franklin Marshall's last win knocked off the Blue Jays by a score of 20-17 at Homewood Field back in 2019. The last time the Diplomats knocked off the Blue Jays here in Lancaster, you have to go all the way back to the 2012 season when the Blue and White defeated the Blue Jays by a score of 14-12. This senior day here at Franklin and Marshall is 14 seniors will be recognized before their final regular season home game here at Shattuck Stadium. Parents are gathered on the field, seniors are lining up, and in just a moment we'll go down to the field for the pregame festivities. Last time Franklin and Marshall played a 9-0 team, well, you got to go back to 1985, 40 years ago. And in that one, Franklin Marshall had a chance to win the Centennial title if they knocked off undefeated Gettysburg. Two teams battled to a scoreless draw as Mark Slevin was unable to connect on a 51-yard field goal with 9 seconds to go the last time Diplomats played a 9-0 team. Before that, you have to go all the way back to 1960. Last time F&M played someone that was even 8-0 in the year. That was a 41-29 loss against Albright 65 years ago. Hopefully we will end that drought today. Franklin and Marshall has played more games as a Division III program without an appearance in the NCAAs. 1,229. Hopefully that can be snapped today. Now let's turn it over to our PA announcer, John Whitwer, for the Senior Day festivities.
Has accomplished over the past 4 years. This class has already combined for 29 wins and has won 2 Centennial MAC Bowl Series games. The 2025 Diplomats have already clinched a return to the postseason with an outstanding 8-1 record this year, including an undefeated mark in the Centennial Conference as they will compete for the Centennial Conference Championship and a spot in the NCAA tournament this afternoon. This class of record-breaking student athletes has also been exemplary scholars in the classroom and distinguished leaders across campus. And now let's meet the Franklin and Marshall football class of 2026. Joining head coach Mike Phelan to send off our seniors, assistant coach Andy Laux. Our first senior is Bilal Degener, working behind the scenes as a sports medicine assistant with the team for the past 4 years. Bilal came to Franklin and Marshall from Silver Spring, Maryland, and will graduate from Franklin and Marshall with a major in biology. Thank you, Bilal, for all your contributions to the team the past 4 seasons. And now let's meet the Franklin and Marshall football class of 2026 as we introduce the diplomats in numerical order. Our first senior quarterback, Ty Tremba. Ty came to Franklin and Marshall from Allentown, Pennsylvania, where he attended Parkland High School. He'll graduate this spring with a degree in business organizations and society, along with a minor in economics. He's being escorted today by his mother, Kelly, father, Matt, brother, Trey, and sister, Tegan. Number 2, Ty Tremba. Next up, wide receiver Gary Lewis III. Gary came to F&M from Summit, New Jersey, where he attended the Del Barton School. Gary will graduate with a degree in American Studies. He's being escorted by his father, Gary, along with his sisters, Sydney, Armania, and Tanya. Number 3 is Gary Lewis. Our third senior safety, Nico Medlar. Nico joined the team from Coplay, Pennsylvania, where he attended Parkland High School. He'll graduate this spring with a degree in business organizations and society. Nico is being escorted by his parents, Deb and Dan Medlar. Number 4, Nico Medlar. The next senior is quarterback Jake Fant. Jake joined the team from Newtown, Pennsylvania, where he attended Episcopal Academy. He'll graduate this spring with a degree in business organizations and society. Escorting Jake on the field is mother and father, Marlise and Terry Fant, step-parents Derek Boyko and Megan Fant, along with his grandfather Tom and his brothers Max, Wyatt, and Sam. Number 10, Jake Fant. Next up, we recognize free safety Kyle Levancho. Kyle came to Franklin and Marshall from Easton, PA, an Easton area high school. He'll graduate with a degree in business organizations and society, along with a minor in economics. Kyle is being escorted today by his mother, Kristen, father, Matthew, sister, Kayla, and grandmother, Karen Pershini. Number 12, Kyle Levancho. Next up, wide receiver Matt Hanna. Matt joined the Diplomats from Brooklyn, New York, where he attended Poly Prep. He will graduate from F&M with a degree in business organizations and society. Matt is being escorted today by his father, Gary Hanna. Number 16, Matt Hanna. Defensive back Matt Wirtz. Matt came to Franklin and Marshall from Pittsburgh and Mount Lebanon High School. He'll graduate with a degree in business organizations and society. Matt is escorted today by his mother, Lynette, father, Doug, sister, McKenna. Number 25 is Matt Wirtz. Our next senior wide receiver, Kane Uchida. He came to F&M from Tenafly, New Jersey, and he attended Tenafly High School. He'll graduate from college with a degree in business organizations and society and film and media. He's being escorted today by his mom, Megumi, dad, Naboro, and sister, Momoko. Number 28, Kane Uchida. Next up, we have Nick and Sam Keenan. Nick is defensive lineman hailing from Arlington, Virginia, where he attended Gonzaga College High School. He'll graduate with a degree in business organizations and society. And Nick's twin brother, linebacker Sam Keenan, attended Yorktown High School, and he'll graduate with a degree in business organizations and society. Joining the Keenan brothers on the field, their mother Chris, father Joe, brother Jack, and Sam's girlfriend Danny Miners. Number 33, Nick Keenan. Number 44, Sam Keenan. Linebacker Anthony Bonanno. Anthony came to F&M from Colts Neck, New Jersey, and Colts Neck High School. He'll graduate this spring with a degree in biology, along with a certificate in health and humanities. Anthony is being escorted today by his mother, Tisha, father Anthony, grandmother Rosemary Fabraro, and brother John Paul. Number 57, Anthony Bonanno. Our 12th senior, offensive tackle Austin Sirkonich. Austin joined the Diplomats from Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania, where he attended Garnet Valley High School. He'll graduate with a degree in business organizations and society. Escorting Austin onto the field, his mother Tracy, father Steve, sisters Maddie and Bella. Number 75, Austin Sirkonich. Next up is outside linebacker Nick Silverthorne. Nick came to F&M from Caldwell, New Jersey. He attended James Caldwell High School. He'll graduate from F&M with a degree in business organizations and society. Joining Nick on the field are his mom, Melissa, dad, Stephen, brother Griffin, and sister Shannon. Number 97, Nick Silverthorne. Our final senior defensive lineman, L.T. Kelly. L.T. joined the Diplomats from Baltimore, where he attended Concordia Prep. L.T. will graduate this spring with a degree in government. Escorting him onto the field, mother Tam, and class of 1998 football alumnus, Toya Kelly. Number 99, L.T. Kelly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as our seniors gather for a group photo, let's have a nice round of applause for the Franklin and Marshall football class of 2026.
And there you have it, the introductions of the 14 seniors on the Franklin and Marshall football class of 2026, making their final regular season appearance here at Shattuck Stadium before the home folks. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV, getting ready for the Centennial Conference Championship game between Franklin and Marshall and Johns Hopkins. Earlier in the week, we had a chance to catch up with Diplomat head coach Mike Phelan as we continue on with the Diplomat pregame show. Welcome to the Franklin and Marshall football pregame show. Steve Ulrich along with head coach Michael Phelan. And coach, let's talk a little bit about last week's trip out to Pittsburgh and the big win over Carnegie Mellon, an impressive win for the Diplomats.
Yeah, thank you. It was a fun trip. So we got to take everybody, which is not typical in college football. So through our alums, through our parents, through the administration, we were able to take everybody, which I thought was really special. So staying over in the hotel, doing a walkthrough at Duquesne, it was kind of a full team experience, and it was really fun for everyone to experience that. Did
senior Matt Wirtz play tour guide, being from Pittsburgh and Mount Lebanon?
A little bit. We had one of our alums, Timmy Walters, who's also an F&M grad that's from Pittsburgh come talk to the team as well. So it was great to see, the families traveled really well and see some old players too.
An impressive win over the Tartans moved Franklin Marshall to 8-1. Senior quarterback Ty Tremba had another outstanding day. When you look at the caliber of quarterbacks in the Centennial Conference, certainly we're going to see a good one today in Johns Hopkins. Bay Harvey, you saw a good one last week, and Joey McGinnis. Is Ty getting the credit, do you think, that he may deserve when it comes time to postseason honors?
Yeah, I think Ty's right up there with best quarterbacks in the league. He's a huge part of our success. He's a great leader, so he does a bunch of different things that have helped us out this year.
Certainly, I think what's also helped him out is the emergence of the running game. Certainly, freshman Lewis Paris, but sophomore Anthony Valdez has certainly come into his own as well.
Absolutely. They're both incredibly unselfish. So both those guys work extremely hard in practice. Every rep that they get is really important to them. So both of those guys have been huge for us.
Really, it turned into a kind of a puncher's match last Saturday against Carnegie Mellon. Franklin Marshall would score, Carnegie Mellon would come back. And as special teams gaffe maybe led to some tense moments at the end, freshmen really came up big. Kyle Checchio, Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Oscar Marks at safety made a number of big plays. Obviously, Connor Helly had the big interception at the end. Defense stood up when it has to, and especially those two younger players have really emerged in starting roles.
Yeah, those two are they're great players. They were, highly recruited coming out of high school. So we're lucky to have them, and they're both, good people too. So it's good to see them making plays.
And Connor certainly made a big play at the end as well.
Yes, he did. And he's having a good year as well. And he's played a lot of football for us. So it was nice to see him finish the game off there.
His senior day here at Franklin Marshall, as the senior class, a class of 26, plays his final regular season home game at Shattuck Stadium. Let's talk a little bit about the seniors. And you came in about the same time as they did, didn't you?
Yeah, my first year here was their first year. So we've won a lot of games with the senior class. Their leadership is a huge part of why we are 8-1 right now. So it's a lot of credit to those guys and the way that they've taken the direction of this program.
Today's opponent, Johns Hopkins, ranked third nationally, first in the NCAA Power Index, the highest-ranked team that the Franklin Marshall program has played, perhaps in program history. Let's talk a little bit about the Blue Jays. They're led by quarterback Bay Harvey. Yeah,
they're a great football team. So we're going to have to, play our best and play to our standard. But they're good all around. So it's another Centennial opponent, and we're treating it like any other week here.
And first time in Centennial Conference history, the 43-year history of the conference, that the outright conference title was being played for today. What's it mean to you? What's it mean to the team right now to know that here we are on the final Saturday of the regular season and you're playing for a conference title and an NCAA bid?
Yeah, it's awesome. We're treating it like a normal week just because, all the hard work that the guys put in the spring and the summer, that's what got us up to this point. So we don't want to change our approach. It's a great opportunity for us, but at the same time, it's another Centennial Conference opponent, and we just want to keep things rolling.
Our thanks to head coach Mike Phelan for joining us today on the pregame show. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Franklin Marshall football on Diplomat TV. Our thanks to head coach Michael Phelan for taking some time to talk about today's conference championship game as the Diplomats get ready to take on the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins. My name is Steve Ulrich, bringing you the game solo today. If you've been with us all year long, going solo today without my partner Scott Lang. Scott, we wish you all the best as you recover from your surgery yesterday at Johns Hopkins, and the Franklin Marshall football captains and team have a message for you.
Hi, I'm the quarterback, Ty Tremba. I'm wide receiver, Gary Lewis.
Linebacker, Sam Keenan. We're the captains of the F&M football team.
We understand Scott Lang, one of our broadcasters, isn't going to be with us for the Johns Hopkins game.
We'd like to thank him for all his contributions from the football team, the captains, our families, and the entire F&M community as well as the alumni.
We wish you could be there to watch us play, but we know you're facing a tough opponent.
And we want you to know that all of us, the F&M football team, are in the fight with you.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see you back here soon and wish you a speedy recovery.
On behalf of all of us, go Scott, beat cancer.
Go Dips.
Go Dips.
Go Scott, beat cancer! Woo! Woo!
And And my thanks to Captains Ty Tremba, Gary Lewis, Sam Keenan, and the Franklin Marshall football team. Good news to report. The oncologist, the surgeon, was able to get all the cancer out, and we're hopeful for Scott to have a speedy recovery and join us back in the press box again on broadcast very, very soon. Now we turn our attention back to today's contest. Franklin and Marshall 8-1 on the year. Diplomats going for their first outright championship since 1995, looking for the 8th title, Centennial title in program history, and they are led by senior quarterback Ty Tremba. Ty has been terrific this year. Look at those records that he is closing in on in Franklin Marshall program history. First in total offense, second in passing yards, second in touchdown passes, second in touchdowns responsible. He is tied for the lead with 24 200-yard passing games and 10 300-yard passing games. Ty Tremba, the straw that turns the drink for the Franklin and Marshall offense. But it helps when you have a quality receiver like Gary Lewis. Lewis, 174 career receptions, 2,726 yards, 36 touchdown catches, 11 career 100-yard receiving games. The combination of Tremba to Lewis, one of the top combinations not only in the conference, but also in the country. But Johns Hopkins can counter. The Blue Jays 9-0 on the year, ranked third nationally, have an outstanding quarterback of their own in Bay Harvey. Harvey has completed more than 70% of his passes, thrown for over 2,200 yards and 20 touchdowns. He is sixth among all Division III active quarterbacks with a career efficiency rating which is approaching 174. He also has a talented receiver in junior Cole Crotty. Crotty, 58 catches on the year for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Crotty leads the Centennial Conference in both catches and yards, and he is 2 catches away from 200 in his outstanding Johns Hopkins career with a year to go. If you want to reach out to us here in the booth, you can do so by using the email address pressbox@fnm.edu. That's pressbox@fandm.edu. Let us know where you're watching today's championship game. Maybe give a shout out to your favorite player. We'd love to hear from both Franklin and Marshall and Johns Hopkins fans, or fans that may be tuning in around the country in this showdown between a pair of top 25 teams. Once again, email us using the email address pressbox@fnm.edu. The Blue Jays, coached by Dan Wadika. Wadika, 2014 grad of Johns Hopkins. He's in his second season at the helm of the Blue Jays, has a record of 21 wins and 2 losses. Wadika, an outstanding receiver back in his day at Homewood. Caught 260 balls for over 3,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. Dan comes from a long line of Hopkins, the long lineage with Hopkins. His dad, George, a 1982 grad of Hopkins. He was a classmate of former Hopkins head coach Jim Margraf. Dan's sister, Maggie, an outstanding basketball player for the Blue Jays, graduated in 2020. So Wadikas have made their impact on Johns Hopkins as the Blue Jays begin to make their way onto the Shattuck Stadium turf. Blue Jays 9-0 on the year, have defeated 4 nationally ranked teams. Defeated John Carroll, who was ranked 20th in the country, 27-13. Won at Susquehanna, who was ranked 4th nationally by a score of 40-22. Came from behind to defeat Carnegie Mellon in Baltimore by a score of 28-27, toppling the 17th ranked Tartans. And last week, Blue Jays went up to Allentown, defeated 24th ranked Muhlenberg by a score of 47-26. This is F&M's second ranked opponent of the year. F&M knocked off Muhlenberg, who was ranked 25th in the country here at Shattuck back on October 11th by a score of 28-27. Hopkins has made their way onto the Shattuck Stadium turf. As mentioned, temperature in the mid-50s today. Wind essentially non-existent. Should be a great day for football. Lights are on here at Shattuck Stadium for an F&M blackout. The Student Athlete Leadership Council made the call throughout the campus to come out and wear black today. as the Diplomats look for their first NCAA tournament appearance in program history. Captains are making their way out to midfield for Franklin and Marshall as Ty Tremba, Gary Lewis, Sam Keenan, and L.T. Kelly will represent the defense as well today. For the Blue Jays is Carson Bordeaux, Bay Harvey, Jeff Schroeder, Michael Nwosu, and Xavier Newell. Your captains today, Scott Campbell, John Palermo, Daniel Murtaugh, Nicholas Coleman, Michael Kearney, Chris Marisco, Lincoln Kaufman, and working the game clock today is Jim Kapora. Diplomats have won the toss 6 of 9 times on the year. Referee Scott Campbell showing off the coin, letting the Blue Jays know which is heads and which is tails. Let's listen in.
There you go. Heads it is. You won the toss.
Johns
Hopkins has won the toss. They will defer until the second half.
Franklin and Marshall will get the ball first to kick it to start this championship game. Franklin and Marshall has scored points on 4 of his opening 9 drives this year. Head coach Michael Phelan, offense coordinator Matt Quattrone going to try to make that 5 of 10. Both teams return to the bench, and we will get ready for the playing of our national anthem as both teams line up along the sidelines. First time in the 43-year history of the Centennial Conference that the outright championship will be determined on the field. But first, we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
We honor America with our national anthem.
Johns Hopkins comes into the contest with the top scoring offense in the Centennial Conference, averaging nearly 44 points a game. The top total offense in the league, 465 yards a game. Second in rushing offense of 190. Second in passing at 275. It will be a challenge for this F&M defense. But Franklin Marshall, second in the conference in scoring defense, allowing just under 20 points a game. Diplomats are third in total defense, allowing just 324 points per game. And it should be a great matchup between Johns Hopkins, ranked third nationally, Franklin Marshall, number 24 in the country, as we get ready for the Centennial Conference Championship game here at Shattuck Stadium in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Back deep to receive the kick for Franklin and Marshall. It will be number 6, James Sobieski, number 15, Oscar Marks. Doing the kicking for Johns Hopkins will be freshman Caleb Waite out of Orrville, Ohio. And we are just seconds away. Centennial Conference Championship football live at Shattuck Stadium. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Hope you're going to enjoy this one as much as we are. The winner, the Centennial Conference Championship trophy, the boot, and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. 76 meeting between these two schools, dating back to 1912. Waite marks off his steps. And the Centennial Conference Championship game is underway. End over end. Marks it with his right foot in the end zone. Across the 20. Works his way across the 25. Going to be wrestled down at the 26-yard line where Franklin and Marshall will take over. 1st and 10. Let's take a look at the starting 11. For the Diplomats, they're led by quarterback Ty Tremba. Lewis Paris is your starting running back. Gary Lewis is the main target, but Jack Harrison and Matt Eitner also excellent targets as wide receivers. Aiden Toomey is the leader of the offensive line. 1st and 10. Franklin and Marshall coming out in 12 personnel, 1 running back and 2 tight ends. Shivas and Shutt. The H-backs just off the line of scrimmage. Paris lines up to the right of Tremba, and Tremba throws out in the right flat, complete. Hudson Zawakis comes back to the ball, makes the catch for about an 8-yard gain, brings up 2nd and short. Starting defense for the Blue Jays, Will Seibert, a dominating force inside. Browning Trainer, outstanding linebacker. The secondary, really good. Carter Hogue, Carson Bordeaux, and Jack Schondelmeyer for the Blue Jays. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Paris will line up to the left of Tremba, just off his left shoulder. Franklin and Marshall always quick to the line of scrimmage, then very deliberate in taking the snap. You got to believe Franklin and Marshall is going to use a lot of clock today. Hopkins jump, free play. Tremba looks right sideline for Lewis. Lewis was being held by Kevin Ola, and there comes the flag. So 2 penalties against the Blue Jays, and the Diplomats will take the bigger one, the 15-yard penalty that's going to go against Ola. 1st down, Franklin and Marshall by penalty. Pretty easy call for the side judge, as Ola had his right fist filled with blue cloth, part of Gary Lewis's jersey.
2 fouls on the play, both by the defense.
First 15 minutes vital
First
in
foul.
this contest. Johns Hopkins plus 90 scoring margin. In the first 15, Franklin Marshall not far behind. F&M has scored 69 first quarter points, allowed 17. Johns Hopkins has scored 110 points and allowed 20. 1st and 10, Diplomats. Ball just on this side of the 50-yard line at the 49. 11 personnel. Shutt is your tight end on the near side. Harrison, Eitner at the top of the screen. Lewis at the bottom of the screen. Paris lines up to the right of Tremba. 1st and 10. Just underway. Here on Diplomat TV, Centennial Conference Championship game. Steve Ulrich bringing you the call, and Tremba on the designed run. Runs behind Trip Ready, gets into plus territory. 5-yard gain for Tremba at the 46. Tremba, the 6', 205-pound captain from Slatington, Pennsylvania. Will is not shy about running with the football. And that time he followed his big right guard into Hopkins territory. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5, ball at the 46. 3 wide receiver set. Tremba taking his time with the play clock at 10. Over the middle, Ola knocks that one away from Lewis. Ola, the sophomore from Carlsbad, California, knocking that one away. We'll bring up 2nd down. I want to say hello to Mike Harity and family. They're having a watch party in Scottsdale, Arizona today, as Nick and Sam Keenan with certainly a crowd rooting them on, especially Twins Grandma Grace. Mike, thank you for writing in. 2nd down. 3rd and 5. Tremba drops. Clean pocket. Now wrestled down is Will Seibert. Seibert, the 6'3", 275-pounder from Carpentersville, Illinois, broke through and wrestled Tremba to the ground. Tremba had 3 seconds, but not much room no one was open. He was able to Cyber was able to beat the block of Ostrowski. Now we'll bring up a 4th down situation. That's going to bring on Ivan Harlamoff, the junior punter from Bryn Mawr. He averages 40 yards per kick. That's going to be end over end. Nearly glanced off the Hopkins defender. That's going to roll dead at the 13-yard line. 41 yards, no return. Johns Hopkins will start from there. First possession, here is your starting lineup. Starting offense for the Blue Jays, Bay Harvey. The outstanding quarterback, Jeff Schroeder, leads the conference in rushing with nearly 900 yards a game. Cole Crotty, the big play receiver. Keep an eye on him throughout the contest. Hopkins comes out, 11 personnel. Schroeder lines up to the right of Harvey. Harvey, an interesting backstory we'll get to throughout the contest. Harvey quickly slings it out to Crotty. Knocked out of bounds by Rafe Carner after a short game. Here's a defensive set for Franklin and Marshall. L.T. Kelly, the big man in the middle. Sam Keenan, Kyle Checchio. Checchio, the defensive player of the week in the Centennial. Man in the middle. Oscar Marks, Matt Wirtz, Rafe Carner. Going to have their hands full in the secondary today for the Diplomats. 2nd down. We're going to call it 5. Harvey, play fake to Schroeder. Looks, hits Schroeder in the flat. 3 Franklin and Marshall defenders quickly close on him. Banghart makes the first hit, but it looks like Schroeder is going to have enough for the 1st down. I want to say hello to Mark Dobin, a classmate of mine, class of 82 at Franklin and Marshall, watching today from Kirkland, Washington. Mark, hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for writing in. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Ball at the 23-yard line. Pistol set for the Blue Jays. Schroeder comes off the left side. He's got room to run. He's free in the secondary. Stiff arms Mark, still over his feet. Going to finally be wrestled down by Connor Hilly, but not before. Schroeder breaks free for 38. 1st down, Blue Jays in F&M territory at the 39. Watch again. The stiff arm on Marks picked up another 15, 16 yards for the senior running back from Rumson, New Jersey, Jeff Schroeder. Schroeder came into the contest 857 yards on the season. Picked up 38 on that run. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Schroeder will get it again behind that big offensive line. Albero and Marks stop him after a gain of 5 to the 34. Schroeder, the reigning Centennial Conference Offensive Player of the Week, rushed for 232 yards and a pair of scores last Saturday in that 47-26 win against Muhlenberg. 2nd and 5. 3 wide receiver set. Started as 4. Now Josh Moore comes in the backfield to the left of Harvey. Harvey, play fake. Harvey looks right flat, wide open is Moore. He's got room to run. Moore will be pushed out of bounds by Albero, but not before he gets 1st down yardage. Down to the 27, pickup of 7. Harvey's been successful on these passes into the right flat. Moore did not have a defender in front of him for 10 yards. Blue Jays on the move. Drive started at the Hopkins 13, now down to the F&M 27. 1st and 10. First possession for the Blue Jays. Pistol set. Schroeder changes directions. Gets across right at the 20-yard line. Pickup of 7. Started the left side behind Cornacchio and Nawasu. Then was able to cut back. Watch again. Plants the foot. Slides back behind Drew Charundit. Makes it 2nd and short. 6 minutes gone, 1st quarter, no score. Franklin and Marshall and Johns Hopkins for the Centennial Conference Championship. Pistol set. Harvey gives to Schroeder. Schroeder's got first down yardage. May brought down by Hilly, but the Blue Jays are on the move. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. 71 yards on the drive so far. Right now, the offensive line doing the job for Hopkins. Opening up big holes for Schroeder. 4 carries for 50 yards so far for the senior captain. Schroeder gets it again. Tripped up by Oscar Marks, but not before he picks up 4, brings up 2nd and 6. Schroeder now over the 2,400-yard mark in his career. 2,452 yards for Schroeder. Now, empty set. 3 wide receivers to your top of your screen. Harvey looks right, throws right, end zone, touchdown! Blue Jays flag on the play. Probably going to be offside against Franklin and Marshall. But Harvey to end right, 13 yards. And Hopkins strikes first, leads by a score of 6-0. Harvey puts it over the top of Chris Albero just before Oscar Marks or Matt Wirtz could close. And Enright pulls in for his 5th touchdown of the year. Brad Paxton on to attempt the extra point. As Hopkins takes their opening drive, marches 87 yards to pay dirt. Harvey to Enright. Paxton, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida. Kick is up, and it is good. Midway through the first quarter, here at Shattuck Stadium in Lancaster, Hopkins leads F&M by a score of 7-0. Take a look at the touchdown again. Touch by Bay Harvey. Right over the top of Albero and Enright. High points it, brings it down for the score. Hopkins leads F&M by a score of 7-0. Franklin and Marshall football on Diplomat TV, brought to you by Nike, the official athletic supplier for Franklin and Marshall Athletics. BSN Sports. Visit our sideline store for all your F&M game day apparel at GoDiplomats.com. And D3 Playbook. No publication covers Division III quite like D3 Playbook. Subscribe today at D3Playbook.com. I want to say hello to 3 Franklin and Marshall football graduates: Eric Colsat, Pete Candell, Greg Grasso, all watching today's game from Harrisonburg, Virginia, rooting on the Diplomat. Thank you for writing in. As we await the kickoff by Waite, drives it long and deep into the end zone. Marks will let that go through the end zone. F&M will take over 1st and 10. Want to say hello to the Clifford clan: Mark, Cindy, Cannon, Dexter, and Holden, taking in today's game from Downers Grove, Illinois, cheering on the Diplomats, especially their nephew/cousin, number 79, Christopher Selecki, for the Diplomats. Mark, thank you for writing in. Scoring drive for the Blue Jays. 9 plays, 88 yards, 5 minutes, and 9 seconds. Capped by the 13-yard touchdown pass from Harvey to Enright. Now let's see if Franklin and Marshall can answer. Cannot let Hopkins put 2 scores on the board and let this game get away. Tremba quickly swallowed up. Made the play fake to Paris. Looked to keep it up the middle, but no room at the end. Give him a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd down and 12. F&M was moving the ball pretty well in the first drive before Seibert's sack of Tremba ended that drive around midfield. Now Franklin and Marshall, 2nd and 12. Tremba back to throw. No time to throw as Seibert And Urquidy close on Tremba. And Franklin Marshall's going to have to make some adjustments up front. Watch on the replay how easily they slice through. Seibert first. Urquidy on the stunt. Tremba sacked for the second time today. Now F&M is just going to have to try to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. Have to get to the 35 to extend this drive. 3rd and 19. 4 wide receiver set. Now Tremba, under pressure, he's sacked again. Seibert, again. Sawyer Olson, also in there. And Hopkins just pinning their ears back and coming free. Third sack of the day at Tremba, then Harlamoff's going to have to come in and punt for the second time. Harlamoff's first kick covered 42 yards with no return. This one's going to be fair caught by Orecchio. At the 43-yard line, 35 yards, no return. But Hopkins will start drive number 2 in great field position. Franklin and Marshall defense is going to have to rise to the occasion right now. As we said, you can't let Hopkins get a 2-score lead early. F&M's best hope was to strike first. Let the visitors from Baltimore know they were here to play, but right now the defense is going to have to respond. Hopkins will take over, 1st and 10. Ball on the F&M 43-yard line. Schroeder on the left shoulder of Harvey. Schroeder gets the handoff, patiently waits for a hole, tries the left side across the 40. He can be marked down at the 39-yard line, gain of 4. Schroeder now 61 yards on 6 carries. The patience of the senior running back, Jeff Schroeder, on full display there. Waiting for Nwosu and Cornacchio to create the hole for him. Brings up 2nd and 6. 3 down linemen for F&M. Harvey, clean pocket, throws complete. Nice grab that time by Enright. Kelly there on the coverage. It's a short pickup, going to bring up 3rd and 3. Watch the hands by Enright. As he dives back to the left and pulls that one in. Harvey now 5 of 5 for 34 yards, brings up 3rd down. Johns Hopkins on the year converted 54% of their 3rd downs. Diplomats, 5 in the box. Crotty goes in motion. Harvey on the keeper, has room to run. L.T. Kelly got him right at the line to gain. Let's see the mark, and it will be it looks like it will be marked short and bring up 4th down. Now the chains finally move. Officiating crew a little late to advance the chains. Over 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Blue Jays pick up 1st down number 6. Pistol formation. 2 wide receivers. Crotty at the top of the screen and right at the bottom of the screen. Now, Schroeder comes in, steps up, and play clock ran down to 0, but looks like Hopkins is going to be called for legal procedure. Going to go against the junior wide receiver, Cole Crotty from Hermosa Beach, California. Trying to get the early jump. I want to say hello to Craig Fosnot, class of 84. Franklin and Marshall watching today's game from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Craig, always good to hear from you. Also hello to Shirley Cotton watching today in Huntley, Illinois. Giving a shout out to her grandson, Will Cyber, for the Blue Jays. Will's had a heck of a start to this one. Harvey drops back to throw. Looks deep for Enright. Off his fingertips. Enright had a step on Carner. Evancho came over, but just glanced off his fingertips. Beautiful throw by Harvey. Watch again. 6'2", 215-pound quarterback from Switzerland, throwing a beautiful ball. Harvey, who was born in Rhode Island, family moved to Switzerland when he was 3 years old. Stayed there for the next 13 years, came back to America, played football his senior year at Cleveland Heights High School in Ohio. Now Harvey throws down the middle, knocked away by Marks. Intended for Josh Moore, but the freshman from Summit, New Jersey, comes in and makes a play from his safety position. That's going to bring up 3rd and long. Watch Marks come in from the top of your screen. And knocked it away. 3rd down. 15 yards to go. F&M defense needs a stop right here. Enright will go in motion to the top of the screen. 4 wide receivers in the pattern. F&M rushing 3, dropping 8. Harvey, screen pass, complete to Schroeder. Schroeder across the 30, 25, 20. First down yardage for the Blue Jays. He's out of bounds. But not before. The sticks move again. First down, Johns Hopkins. Give him 22. And watch the blocking. Michael Nwosu, the 6'3", 280-pounder from Perry Hall, Maryland, twice named first-team All-Centennial. A 4th-team All-American, number 77, led the way for his classmate. Now it's 1st and 10 in the red zone at the 16-yard line. Harvey will now look over to the sideline. Get a new call from offensive coordinator Alex Horvatus. Give. Schroeder bounces outside. Brought down at the 14. Hadley in there along with Hilly. Say hello to Bill Westcott, class of 1972 from Franklin Marshall, taking in today's game from Houston, Texas. Bill, thanks for writing in. Also want to say hello to the Strife family, tuning in from Utica, New York, cheering on their nephew, Jack Harrison, and Franklin and Marshall. Elizabeth, thank you for writing in. Second down, we're going to call it 7. Ball at the 14. Harvey on the keeper, and Checchio meets him at the line of scrimmage and stops the grad student from Switzerland, Bay Harvey, in his tracks. Brings up 3rd down. Watch Checchio. Fills the hole and meets Harvey head on. The reigning Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Week drops the Hopkins quarterback, and with 40 seconds to go in the first quarter, brings up 3rd and 10. Lots of weapons for Harvey. Play clock down to 10. Now he calls Moore over in the slot. Play clock at 5. Harvey looks right, throws. Knocked away by Wirtz, flag. Matt Wirtz going to be called for pass interference. Chad Martini in the upper corner, hand fighting with Wirtz. And it looks like Wirtz is going to be flagged, much to the dismay. Franklin Marshall head coach Mike Phelan is out at the numbers.
The foul was in the end zone. That ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. Result in an automatic first down.
The Blue Jays are going to be set up 1st and goal with 19 seconds to go here in the first. Head coach Mike Phelan still out talking to a referee, Scott Campbell. Watch here in the end zone. What you're going to see is that right hand from Wirtz looked like he had a fistful of fabric. And I think that's what our back judge saw. The line judge on the near side did not throw his flag. That came from the back judge. The Blue Jays, 1st and goal. Ball at the 2-yard line. Handoff. Schroeder. Stopped short of the line by L.T. Kelly. Kelly, the senior from Baltimore. 6 foot, 295 pounds. He stopped Schroeder in his tracks. Marks also in there, and that will end the first 15 minutes of play. Johns Hopkins leads Franklin and Marshall by a score of 7-0. We'll be right back. You're watching the Centennial Conference Championship game on Diplomat TV. Welcome back to Shattuck Stadium. On the campus of Franklin and Marshall College, Centennial Conference Football Championship game, third-ranked Johns Hopkins leads number 24 Franklin and Marshall by a score of 7-0. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Before a pretty full house here on the home side at Shattuck Stadium, all dressed out in black for an F&M blackout. Right now, Johns Hopkins trying to apply a stranglehold on the Diplomats with a second score as Harvey rolls right, throws in the end zone, touchdown. Jeff Schroeder. Harvey to Schroeder from 1 yard out, and Johns Hopkins moves in front of F&M by a score of 13-0. Pretty play fake by Harvey. Schroeder just works his way out in the right flat. No one goes with him, and by the time Evancho gets out there, Schroeder is in the end zone. Paxton will get ready to try the conversion. Holder is Ethan Lawler. Paxton's kick is up, and it is good. 5 seconds into the second quarter, and Johns Hopkins 11 plays, 43 yards, takes 5:23 off the clock. And just like that, the Blue Jays on top of the Diplomats by a score of 14-0. Here's the first score, the toss to Enright in the end zone from 13 yards out. And then the second score, Harvey's second TD pass of the day. This one from 1 yard out to Schroeder. Franklin and Marshall, biggest deficit the Diplomats have encountered this year was 20 points, trailing Westminster all the way back in week 2. Diplomats trailed 28-27 at Gettysburg, 14-7 at Muhlenberg, 13-7 against Dickinson. Of course, last week, 24-23 against Carnegie Mellon. But certainly staring down the barrel right now as we show you how important that first quarter was. Johns Hopkins now plus 97 scoring margin. And that all important first 15 minutes. Waite gets ready to kick it off. Sobieski and Marks await a low line drive that will take one bounce. Picked up by Bonanno. Bonanno across the 30, be wrestled down at the 34-yard line. F&M will take over first and 10. Want to say hello to another member of the Franklin Marshall class of 1982. My freshman hallmates, Rick Diana, watching today's game from Chester, New Jersey. Rick, thanks for writing in. Luke Siximan, watching today in San Diego. Former 3-year starter for the Blue Jays. at center, watching with his dad, Roger. Hope you guys are enjoying the game in SoCal today. Thank you very much, Luke, for writing in. 1st and 10, F&M. Ball on its own 34-yard line. Tremba looks to throw. Overshoots Lewis. Closest player to the ball was Jack Schondelmeyer. Now flag comes in. I think we're going to get perhaps a roughing the passer. And to Donna Perrone, who writes in, says, can we listen to the crowd, please? Well, we've just adjusted our crowd mic, Donna, so thank you very much. We want to hear the crowd, too, on the broadcast. Hopefully we get that all taken care of. So, the penalty's going to go against the Blue Jays. F&M gets a free 15. Ball moves to the F&M 49-yard line. 1st and 10, Diplomats. 12 personnel. Paris lines up to the left of Tremba. Tremba drops to throw. Looks right. Has Zawadkis. He's interfered with. And there's no flag. Right in front of the line judge. And watch the replay. Watch the contact made on Zawadkis. And David Halal comes down with the ball. So Halal comes down with it, the junior from Irvine, California. Interestingly enough, that's the same official who did not make the call on pass interference call that went against Matt Wirtz and swallowed his whistle on that one. 1st and 10, Blue Jays. Ball on their own 20-yard line. That's going to be a critical play in this contest. If Hopkins is able to turn this into points, flag comes in on the Schroeder carry. Let's wait for the call.
Yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The Blue Jays will start out 1st and 21. Say hello to the Smith clan watching today from Baltimore. Greg, a Johns Hopkins employee, along with being a parent of a Franklin and Marshall first year. Greg, thanks for writing in. Hello to Neil Johnson. Ben Johnson, class of 66, watching today from Sacramento, California. 1st and 20. Harvey, quarterback draw. Trips and falls over the feet of his center. Pick up a 4. Looks like he has a little bit of room to run. Starts to cut right in the left ankle. Catches the right ankle of Chirundet. And that will bring up 2nd and 16. Schroeder lines up to the right, 4 wide receiver set, 2 at the top of the screen, 2 at the bottom of the screen. Harvey goes over the middle, complete to Moore. Moore across the 25, before he's finally wrestled down by 3/4 of the F&M secondary. It's going to make this 3rd and manageable for the Blue Jays. Harvey now 8 of 10, 57 yards on the day. First catch of the day for Josh Moore, the sophomore from Toms River, New Jersey. Blue Jays 2 for 3 on 3rd downs. F&M needs a stop right here. The 30 is the line to gain. Moore will work his way behind Harvey and get the handoff. Moore has room to run, and he's free on the left sideline. Finally tripped up from behind by Marks. but not before. Moore picks up 21. First down, Blue Jays, number 9 on the day.
More than enough to move the sticks down.
Moore running behind Nwasu and Cornacchio. Found a big hole. Hopkins now 160 total yards. 12 minutes to go, first half. Blue Jays lead the Diplomats 14-0. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Thanks for being with us today. Harvey looks left, slings it out to Enright. Pickup of 7 before the Californian steps out of bounds. Say hello to Mary Keenan, watching today from Newport Beach, California, rooting on her nephews, Sam and Nick Keenan. Mary, thanks for writing in. Second down. We're going to call it 4. Give is to Pugliano. Pugliano slips out of one tackle. Looks like he's right at the marker. Ty Pugliano, the first year from Parkville, Maryland. Looks like he's going to be just short. He's going to bring up 3rd and 1. He slips away from the tackle of Cecchio. And Hadley is there to finish him off. I want to say hello to Lane Lambeth, class of 2025, an outstanding lacrosse player for the F&M women's lacrosse team, rooting on the Diplomats, and Nick Keenan from Washington, D.C. Lane, thanks for writing in. 3rd and short. Cowbells ringing here at Franklin and Marshall, trying to exhort the Diplomats to a stop. Harvey, he's got first down yardage. Stopped just short of the 40. But another first down for Hop.
Want
to say hello to Joe Cleary, 2003 Franklin Marshall graduate who played football for 4 years for the Diplomats. Joe and his wife and son are watching today from Ontario, Canada. And yes, Joe, as Coach Gilberg used to tell a lot of F&M football players, it's time to put the hay in the barn. Go Dips. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Ball in the F&M 42. Harvey looks, throws, complete. Moore met right away by Sam Keenan and Rafe Carner. What a short pickup. Watch how quickly Harvey gets rid of this ball. It's not the traditional over-the-top throw. Harvey much more of the side armor. Harvey, as we said, grew up in Switzerland. He trained in the elite unit of the Swiss Army's military police in 2020 before working his way to Ohio to play football. And now he looks deep, throws long, looking for Crotty. Complete. Cole Crotty pulls it in, gain of 34. Great grab by the junior from California. Watch again. Not much Oscar Marks can do when you put it where only your own receiver can come down with it. And Crotty with his 200th career catch. Congratulations to Cole Crotty. 1st and goal, ball in the 3-yard line. 209 total yards for the Blue Jays. We're going to get a whistle. That will be timeout called by Dan Wadika as the play clock nearly ran out. We'll take timeout as well. You're watching the Centennial Conference Football Championship game on Diplomat TV. First and goal, Johns Hopkins. Ball on the 3-yard line. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Thanks so much for making us part of your day. Blue Jays trying to go up by 3 scores. Harvey, empty backfield. Finds a hole off the left side. Bay Harvey into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Jays. And Hopkins jumps in front by a score of 20-0. Watch Harvey patiently waits. And then uses that big 215-pound frame to power into the end zone. And the Diplomats now in a major hole as Brad Paxton looks to apply the extra point. Out of the hold of Ethan Lawler. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. 8:31 to go, first half. The third-ranked Johns Hopkins Blue Jays have taken a 21-0 lead over number 24 Franklin Marshall in the showdown for the Centennial Conference Championship. The biggest deficit Franklin Marshall has faced this season. The Diplomats are going to need to find a way to get back into this contest. Hopkins scoring drive. 10 plays, 80 yards. Johns Hopkins so far 29 plays for 212 yards. Franklin Marshall 8 plays, minus 12. 15 of those negative yards coming on 3 sacks on F&M quarterback Ty Tremba. Let's see what head coach Mike Phelan, offensive coordinator Matt Quattrone can come up with. Try to break through. As Waite puts his toe into it, spinner that's going to bounce at the 15. Check up, finally picked up by Marks. Marks is going to break one tackle, but he's going to be wrestled down at the 22-yard line. That's where the Diplomats will take over, 1st and 10.
Diplomats will start 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line.
Other games around the Centennial Conference today. At the half, Carnegie Mellon leads Ursinus by a score of 17-14. Into the first quarter, Gettysburg on top of McDaniel, 10-0. And midway through the second, Muhlenberg leads Dickinson 21-3. All those scores, good news for the Diplomats. We'll get into that a little bit later as Paris takes the handoff. First time that the freshman from Scranton, Pennsylvania, has toted the ball today. Last 4 games, Paris has rushed for 360 yards, found the end zone 3 times. That's his first touch of the day. Pickup of 1. Tremba surveys the field. Drop. Steps up. Finds a little bit of running room. Dives toward the 30-yard line. Going to be at the 29. Pickup of 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4. And you'll be able to see on the replay, which we may not get to as F&M quickly comes to the line. You can see Will Seibert once again. Number 55 breaking through and threatening Tremba, who was just able to escape and pick up positive yardage. F&M 0 for 2 on 3rd downs today. Play clock at 10 as Tremba continues to set the blocking scheme. Now the senior throws, right side, complete. Matt Eitner pulls it in, 1st down F&M. Ball going to be marked down at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 12. Diplomats move the chains, 1st and 10. Ball at the 41. Lewis cleared the way. Eitner stepped in and caught it. Now a little dump pass over the middle to Paris. Paris going to pick up 7. Before he's brought down by Jack Smith. Smith, the senior linebacker from Duxbury, Massachusetts. 6.5 minutes to go. Give Paris 8 on the catch. Second down, 2 yards to go. Diplomats trying to get on the scoreboard, trailing 21-0. Centennial Conference outright championship on the line here at Shattuck Stadium. Now, Anthony Valdez in at running back off the right shoulder of Tremba. He gets the handoff. Valdez powers his way across midfield to the 48. Pickup of 3. First down, Diplomats. I want to say hello to Suzanne Harris, watching today from Salado, Texas, rooting on the Blue Jays, and her nephew, Jack Yeski. Dan Contrary watching today's game, a 2024 civil engineering grad from Hop. Thank you for writing in, Tank. Tremba, play fake, scrambles, looks for someone to throw to, hits Eitner. Eitner across the 30, 25, down to the 24-yard line. Pickup of 24 for Matt Eitner, the junior wide receiver from Mahwah, New Jersey. F&M running tempo. Tremba throws again in the end zone for Lewis. Touchdown! Diplomats, flag on the play. Seibert was late coming off the field. Let's see if that's the call. And if the 24-yard pass from Tremba to Lewis stands. Let's wait for the call.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field on the defense. That penalty is declined.
Tremba.
Result of the play
Gary Lewis.
is a touch.
The most prolific pitch and catch tandem in the Centennial Conference connects. Now Michael Fleming on to try the extra point. Out of the hold of Danny O'Brien. Will Galligan is the long snapper. Snap is down. Fleming's kick is up. And it is true. 7 plays, 77 yards, 3 minutes, 18 seconds off the clock as Tremba finds his favorite target, Gary Lewis, in the end zone. Diplomats make it a 2-score game, 21-7. We'll be right back. You're watching Diplomat Football on the Centennial Conference Digital Network. Franklin Marshall, trailing by 3 scores, strikes back. 23-yard touchdown pass. Tremba to Lewis with 5:07 to go. Diplomats close the deficit to 21-7. Harlamoff, end-over-end kick fielded in the end zone. Coming out with it and room to run. Griffin Semrad comes across midfield. Finally taken down by Nick Aravides. But not before a 51-yard return by the first year from Lincoln, Nebraska, Griffin Semrad. Seems as Wirtz finally made the tackle. And the Blue Jays back in business. I want to say hello to Matthew Knable, Hopkins grad, class of 2006, a 4-year player for the Columbia Blue and Black, watching today's game with his 3 daughters, Charlie, Hope, and MJ. Matt, thanks for tuning in from Round Rock, Texas. 1st and 10 Blue Jays, ball on the F&M 49-yard line. Ball fake to Schroeder. Throw knocked down. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Let's see who got a paw on that one. Or is Hilly or Hadley? It was Hilly. Got in the way of that attempt toward Cole Crotty. Say hello to Garrett Brophy's mom and stepdad, Patty and Danny, watching today from Atlanta, Georgia, rooting on the Blue Jays. Thank you so much for writing in. Harvey, plenty of time, throws a crossing pattern to Crotty. Oscar Marks is there to wrap him up before the talented junior could get rolling. Pickup of 2 brings up 3rd and 8. A big play in this football game. LT Kelly will check out. F&M will go to a nickel package as Trey Camella, number 38, comes in the secondary. 3 wide receivers on the near side. This is typically where Harvey throws it out to Crotty. He's got 2 blockers. Watch a quick out to the right side. Crotty will make the catch. He's got blockers in front. He's going to be stopped short of the line to gain. There's a flag on the play. It was basically a 2-on-2 situation. Crotty got 2 blocks from his 2 wideouts, but it looks like that call is going to go against the Blue Jays.
Holding. Offense, number 0.
Chad Martini.
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
A whistle.
Repeat 3rd down.
Hold. That's going to back the Blue Jays up to the 47-yard line. 3rd and 14. 4 wide receiver set. Schroeder, the back, alongside Harvey. Now Harvey gets a new play. Schroeder moves from the left side to the right side. 3rd and 14. F&M sends a blitzer. Harvey with all day to throw. Now he's going to run. Harvey trying to get away from Albero, but he can't get away from Wirtz. He's going to be stopped short of the line to gain. But he did pick up 10 yards. Going to bring up 4th and 4. What does head coach Dan Wadicka do? Watch him run away from Albero, but Wirtz lowers the left shoulder and knocks him out. Hopkins offense will stay on the field. Hopkins on the year, 17 of 21, 81%, converting 4th downs. Check that, 12 of 18 on the year, 67%. Play clock at 0. The referee finally makes the call. You could see the Franklin and Marshall coaching staff pointing at the play clock for at least 2 seconds. And now a timeout is called. We'll take timeout as well. 2:58 to go, first half. Blue Jays on top of the Diplomats, 21-7.
Why don't you're looking for wide out?
Up.
4th and 4, ball on the F&M 43-yard line. Blue Jays 12 of 18 on 4th downs on the season. Now jumbo package, it looks like the punt unit is on for the Blue Jays. Chase Alley in punt formation, the left footer will angle one that Albero will fair catch at the 14, 29 yards on the kick, and Franklin Marshall finds itself with the ball. 2:52 to go, and its full assortment of timeouts as well with the 2-minute timeout. Say hello to Ron Kane, Franklin Marshall class of 1987. Rooting on the Diplomats today. Ron, a 3-sport athlete in football, basketball, and baseball. Hello to Dan Requena, class of 2008 at Johns Hopkins, watching today from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Dan, thanks for writing in. Tremba looks right, under pressure, Scrambles free. Going to pick up positive yardage just shy of the 20-yard line.
Takes off to the 19-yard line.
Actually, will make that the 18, mark a gain of 4. Tremba getting out of danger. First quarter, Tremba may have held the ball a little longer than he thought he should. The way that Will Seibert was cracking down on him. And now, Tremba, the alarm clock is going off after 2. Tremba escapes the pocket, makes it 2nd and 6. 2:15 to go. Here in the first half, play clock down at 5. They give to Paris. Paris is going to try the right side. He's going to be met by Xavier Newell, the senior from Troy, Michigan. And we have reached the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes remaining in the first half for the Centennial Conference Championship. Johns Hopkins on top of F&M by a score of 21-7. You're watching F&M football on Diplomat TV. Second and 6 ball on the F&M 18-yard line. F&M with all 3 timeouts. Hopkins with 1 opportunity to stop the clock. Here in the final 2. Tremba looks left, looking for Eitner. Eitner pulls it in. First down, Diplomats, as Eitner beats Carter Hogue. Pickup of 31 for Eitner, who's been a favorite target of Tremba today. Eitner's 3rd catch, 67 yards for the junior from Mahwah, New Jersey. 1st and 10, F&M on the plus side of the 50 at the Hopkins 49-yard line. Tremba looks over to the sideline, gets a new play. 5 on the play clock. Tremba looks right, throws, incomplete. Sawadkis with Halal all over him. The F&M Partisans, clad in black below us, said that Halal, the junior from Irvine, California, had a hand on Sawadkis. No call, 2nd and 10. 1:51 to go, first half. Diplomats conceded the first 21 points before scoring on a 23-yard pass from Tremba to Lewis. Now F&M in Hopkins territory, looking to make this a 1-score game or just get points on the board before the half. Now Tremba looks, throws deep for Eitner. In and out of his hands. Eitner turned the wrong way, essentially. Look at the ball. Eitner. Did a good job of shielding Halal from the ball, but unable to pull it in. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Valdez, the running back. Lewis and Harrison to the bottom of the screen. Eitner and Sawadkis at the top of the screen. Diplomats 2 for 4 converting 3rd downs today. Rushes on. Tremba looking to escape. He's going to pick up first down yards before finally being dragged down by Carson Bordeaux. Diplomats move the chains on the big run by Ty Tremba. Diplomats showing tempo. Tremba looks deep, throws, looking for Lewis. Incomplete. Hand fighting between Lewis and Ola. right in front of our side judge, Michael Kearney, but no flag. Second down. You can see the hand fighting going on. Lewis just unable to pull it in. Tremba now 6 of 12 for 107 yards on the day. Play clock at 15 as Tremba gets a new play from the sideline. Minute 23 to go, first half. Tremba, left side, away from the outstretched arms of Gary Lewis. It's going to bring up third down. Hello to Cliff Pierce, four-year offensive lineman for the Diplomats, graduated in the class of 21. We're on today from Boston, Massachusetts. Also hello to Jason and Jackie Schubert, watching from Mechanicsburg. Their son Tyler played football for the Diplomats, a graduate of 2019. Jason, thank you for writing in. And thank you to everyone who's reached out to us here in the booth. We'll try to get to all our shout-outs in due time. 75 seconds to go. Tremba will throw right. He's got Zawadkis. Touchdown! Oh! Jumped the gun, Steve, as Zawadkis had the ball, and Halal knocked it out of his hands. Play-by-play guy gets a little too excited as the ball is in Zawadkis' hands, but Halal does not quit on the ball. Drives through and knocks it out of the hands of the 6'6 junior from Westchester. And that's going to bring up 4th and 10. As F&M is attacking this Hopkins secondary, and head coach Mike Phelan will call timeout. We will keep it here. And remind you that now we've moved into November, that also brings to a close Franklin Marshall's Raise Our Game campaign that supports Diplomat Athletics in so many ways. Due to the incredible generosity of our alumni, family, students, and fans, we're excited to announce that you have helped us raise over $529,000. This represents the 5th straight year this campaign has set a record in total support given to our student athletes. We simply can't thank everyone enough. The support you have shown year after year is beyond reproach. On behalf of the athletic department, we will just simply say thank you for being part of our F&M family. Speaking of F&M family, I want to say hello to Lynn Greenberg, former Franklin Marshall soccer player, class of 2014, and member of the Franklin Marshall Board of Trustees watching today's game. Lynn, thank you for writing in. And on the flip side, say hello to 2024 grad Luke Gatewood, working on his former teammates with the Blue Jays, watching today from Charlotte, North Carolina. 4th and 10, Diplomats going for it. Ball on the Hopkins 37-yard line. Hopkins with 5 in the box, 6 in the secondary. Tremba steps up, throws over the middle, complete to Harrison. First down. Ball down to the 16-yard line, gain of 21 on the play. Diplomats in the red zone. First catch of the day for the junior from Allentown, Jack Harrison. F&M in no rush to give the ball back to the Blue Jays. 50 seconds and counting. First half. Harrison comes in motion. He'll line up in the near slot. Tremba. Flag down. Tremba rolls to the right. He'll throw it away. Throws it right at the feet of Valdez, but flag on the play. I thought I saw early movement by the Blue Jays. Let's wait and see what the call is going to be. The flag came in awfully late. It is offside against Johns Hopkins.
Offside. Defense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty.
5 yards
Repeat
for the
first down.
Diplomats as Will Seibert jumps the gun. Moves the ball down to the Hopkins 11.
At the 11-yard line.
11 personnel. Actually, let's make that 10 personnel. No tight ends in the field, 4 wide receivers. Valdez is the running back. We get movement again. Seibert jumps again and trip ready. Does the little stutter step in celebration of being able to draw Seibert. If you are a Franklin and Marshall basketball fan, you'll know
Offside.
all too well
Defense.
the exploits of Mr.
Number
Reddy
55. 5-yard penalty.
behind the basket.
The penalty
when
results
opponents are shooting free throws.
still in a first down.
And suddenly, Franklin and Marshall finds itself first and goal, ball at the 6 without having to run a play. 33.4 seconds to go. Valdez, the lone setback. Now Harrison comes in motion near side. Hopkins showing zone defense. Tremba steps up, looks to run. He does, the end zone. Touchdown, Franklin and Marshall. Ty Tremba from 6 yards out. And F&M has scored 13 unanswered points and trails the third-ranked team in the country by a score of 21-13. Fleming on to attempt the extra point. Galligan is your snapper. O'Brien is the holder. 26.8 seconds to go, and the Diplomats have made this a 7-point game. Johns Hopkins 21. Franklin and Marshall 14. The Diplomats 11 plays, 86 yards, 2:26 off the clock, and just like that, the Diplomats are back in this contest. Scores from around the Centennial Conference today. 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Ursinus has taken a 27-20 lead over Carnegie Mellon. At the end of one quarter, Gettysburg leads McDaniel by a score of 10-0, and at the break, Muhlenberg leads Dickinson by a score of 28-10. Stay with us at halftime. After a short timeout, we'll have an interview with new Franklin and Marshall president Andrew Rich. We'll take a look at first half stats, first half highlights, and a complete look at the out-of-town scoreboard and all the games that affect the Diplomats in the NPI standings. That's coming up on the BSN Halftime Show. Coming up momentarily. Harlamoff gets ready to kick it off. Semrad will field at the 9. He's going to try the right side. He's got some room to run once again. Semrad free. Finally, Harlamoff will push him out of bounds. There are flags on the field, and that's usually in the vicinity of blocking the back. Well-designed special teams return twice by Semrad, being able to find room along the right side.
During the return, blocking it back. Number 33. 10-yard penalty.
Come back. And Spencer
First down.
Kramer is going to be flagged for a block in the back. Now let's see what head coach Dan Wadicka chooses to do here with 18.8 seconds to go. He's got a pair of dangerous receivers in Crotty and Enright, but it looks like the Blue Jays are just going to kneel this one out. And after trailing 21-0, Franklin and Marshall has come back to make this a one-score game and will head to the locker room, trailing the third-ranked team in the country by a score of 21-14 as the F&M Partisans come to their feet. We're going to take a short timeout. And coming up next, the BSN Sports Halftime Show, where we'll feature an interview with Franklin and Marshall's president, Andy Rich. Coming up shortly here on Diplomat TV.
There are countless ways to measure success. Winning, achieving, standing head and shoulders above the crowd. For some people, that's the ideal. But as diplomats, we believe true, fulfilling success is achieved together, collaboratively, not competitively. We do more than set new standards of excellence. We reimagine what excellence means, reinventing, reinvigorating, reaching new heights. Whatever fields of study we pursue, whatever career we're aspiring to, our first commitment is to each other and the people who make us who we are, the ones dearest to us. Diplomats grow in community, a diverse mosaic of students and teachers learning from and with each other, sharing ideas and contributing to our collective knowledge for the betterment of our world. It's more than what you learn, it's how you learn and who you learn with. While subjects can be taught, memorized, and tested, respect is experienced. In each of us, we see a lifetime of stories, hopes, dreams, and infinite promise. A person is as unique as a song or an equation, and our education is as unique as we are. Together, we will shape a better future. The world needs diplomats.
Through all the hard days and all the scary stuff.
Through all the tears and moments.
We'll always have our team behind us.
Team Impact places kids with serious illness and disabilities on college sports teams.
With athletes who support and inspire us.
While we do the same for them.
1, 2, 3.
All in, all together. Woo!
Team Impact, all in, all together.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I'm a senior from Baltimore, Maryland, here at Franklin and Marshall College.
Hi, I'm Alex. I am a sophomore from Denver, Colorado, here at Franklin Marshall.
The college search process is one of the most exciting times in your life. We're here to help you and your family prepare and offer you 5 tips to help you figure out where you might want to spend your undergraduate years.
Let's get started.
Talk to your family and college counselor about what you might be looking for in a college. Things like size, location, academics, and affordability are all things you might want to consider when making your initial list.
Visit colleges' websites to learn more about academics and social life. Fill out the short form on colleges' website so they can learn more information about you. Sign up for updates from colleges that intrigue you.
Follow the social media accounts of the top colleges you're interested in. You can get a great sense of student life on campus by seeing the students that are featured on the college's Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube.
At many schools like F&M, students will take over social media accounts for a day to give you a first-person view of life on campus.
Explore websites that offer reviews of colleges straight from the students who call that campus home. Websites like Niche, College Find, and College Confidential offer reviews of campuses of over 4,000 colleges.
Make a list of colleges you'd like to see in person. Most colleges offer online signups for tours and information sessions you can schedule months in advance.
Visits, even virtual ones, can go a long way in telling you if a college is the right fit for you.
Thanks for watching.
And good luck with your college search.
Well, I have a deep love and affection for art, and I've started a couple projects that look at the intersection of art and science, and I think that really is reflective of the kind of liberal arts environment that I'm almost encouraged to take on, that kind of inquiry outside my main area of study. And I've been here 15 years. I teach courses in evolution, upper level animal behavior, behavioral ecology, and conservation biology classes. Core, I think, of my identity is as a scientist and doing that, that work in the lab and especially in the field and traveling around the world to study environmental change. It was really important to me to develop projects right here in Lancaster. This is my home, and I want to help make it better and give back. And so I have a big project here in collaboration with Lancaster Conservancy, studying their preserves, how wildlife uses it, and in particular now how human use of those preserves impact wildlife to help inform management as well as ecology. Time in the field with students on a beautiful winter afternoon when the sun is going down and the light is perfect, and we're hiking along in the woods with the Susquehanna River in the background, and just seeing the joy in their faces of having the opportunity to be out in a beautiful place and do research, I think are really rewarding memories. But you know, it's also equally rewarding after years of work to put all your data into a spreadsheet and get it set for analysis, push the button to run your statistical model and see what you found, and that eureka face of a student when they see what the results of the experiment or the work that we've done is also equally as rewarding as those beautiful hikes.
Welcome to the Franklin and Marshall Football Pregame Show. Steve Ulrich, along with head coach Michael Phelan. And coach, let's talk a little bit about last week's trip out to Pittsburgh and the big win over Carnegie Mellon. An impressive win for the Diplomats.
Yeah, thank you. It was a fun trip. So we got to take everybody, which is not typical in college football. So through our alums, through our parents, through the administration, we were able to take everybody, which I thought was really special. So staying over in the hotel, doing a walkthrough at Duquesne, it was kind of a full team experience, and it was really fun for everyone to experience that.
Did senior Matt Wirtz play tour guide, being from Pittsburgh and Mount Lebanon?
A little bit. We had one of our alums, Timmy Walters, who's also an F&M grad that's from Pittsburgh, come talk to the team as well. So it was great to see, the families traveled really well and see some old players too.
An impressive win over the Tartans moved Franklin and Marshall to 8-1. Senior quarterback Ty Tremba had another outstanding day. When you look at the caliber of quarterbacks in the Centennial Conference, certainly we're going to see a good one today in Johns Hopkins. Bay Harvey saw a good one last week, and Joey McGinnis. Is Ty getting the credit, do you think, that he may deserve when it comes time to postseason honors?
Yeah, I think Ty's right up there with best quarterbacks in the league. He's a huge part of our success. He's a great leader, so he does a bunch of different things that have helped us out this year.
Certainly, I think what's also helped him out is the emergence of the running game. Certainly, freshman Lewis Paris, but sophomore Anthony Valdez has certainly come into his own as well.
Absolutely. They're both incredibly unselfish. So both those guys work extremely hard in practice. Every rep that they get is really important to them. So both of those guys have been huge for us.
Really, it turned into a kind of a puncher's match last Saturday against Carnegie Mellon. Franklin and Marshall would score, Carnegie Mellon would come back. And as special teams gaffe maybe led to some tense moments at the end, freshmen really came up big. Kyle Cecchio, Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Oscar Marks at safety made a number of big plays. Obviously, Connor Helly had the big interception at the end. Defense stood up when it has to, and especially those two younger players have really emerged in starting roles.
Yeah, those two are they're great players. They were, highly recruited coming out of high school. So we're lucky to have them, and they're both, good people too. So it's good to see him making plays.
And Connor certainly made a big play at the end as well.
Yes, he did. And he's having a good year as well. And he's played a lot of football for us. So it was nice to see him finish the game off there.
His senior day here at Franklin and Marshall as the senior class, a class of 26, plays his final regular season home game at Shattuck Stadium. Let's talk a little bit about the seniors. And you came in about the same time as they did, didn't you?
Yeah, my first year here was their first year. So we've won a lot of games with the senior class. Their leadership is a huge part of why we are 8-1 right now. So it's a lot of credit to those guys and the way that they've taken the direction of this program.
Today's opponent, Johns Hopkins, ranked third nationally, first in the NCAA Power Index, the highest ranked team that the Franklin Marshall program has played perhaps in program history. Let's talk a little bit about the Blue Jays. They're led by quarterback Bay Harvey.
Yeah, they're a great football team. So we're going to have to, play our best and play to our standard. But they're good all around. So it's another Centennial opponent, and we're treating it like any other week here.
And first time in Centennial Conference history, the 43-year history of the conference, that the outright conference title was being played for today. What's it mean to you? What's it mean to the team right now to know that here we are in the final Saturday of the regular season and you're playing for a conference title and an NCAA bid?
Yeah, it's awesome. We're treating it like a normal week just because, all the hard work that the guys put in the spring and the summer, that's what got us up to this point. So we don't want to change our approach. It's a great opportunity for us, but at the same time, it's another Centennial Conference opponent, and we just want to keep things rolling.
Our thanks to head coach Mike Phelan for joining us today on the pregame show. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Franklin and Marshall football on Diplomat TV. Halftime here at Shattuck Stadium in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Diplomats trailing Johns Hopkins by a score of 21-14. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. And now thrilled to be joined by Franklin Marshall's new president, Andrew Rich. Just joined us in July, graduated from the University of Richmond, a Spider back in 1992. Spent some time at Yale. I spent some time at Yale working in their athletic department as well. And we are just thrilled that you're taking the time to join us a little bit today. First of all, best question to start with is, how's your adjustment been to Lancaster and to Franklin and Marshall?
Well, so Steve, it's great to be with you, and it's a great game. And my adjustment has been outstanding, I have to say. Honestly, I've known about F&M my whole life. I grew up not that far away in Delaware, about an hour and 10 minutes away. Came up here as a kid, looked at F&M when I was looking at colleges, went to Richmond, as you say, but really just because I wanted to get further away from home. have loved getting to know F&M as an adult, and know it to be one of the best liberal arts colleges in this country, and doing work that both prepares young people for professions, for active citizenship, and have found an extraordinary faculty, a curious student body, an outstanding staff, and a community that really loves having this college. And so for me, Lancaster is probably one of the biggest assets we have as a college, and it's been a pleasure to get to know the people of Lancaster and to really realize how Lancaster and F&M go together.
Typically, you're going to find a new chief executive who's going to come in and do the listening tour and take your time. But there's a lot of activity going on here at Franklin and Marshall, including the Commonwealth Commitment and the brand new Melman Center.
There are. I am doing the listening, I got to say. I'm spending a ton of time getting to know people and really trying to understand what's in the history and the DNA of Franklin and Marshall. But I'm very excited about some of the things we've already begun to announce. And so just last week, we announced the new Melman Center for strength, conditioning, wellness, and performance. This is going to be a 22,000 square foot facility that's a new fitness complex for our students, something I think we've really needed. And it's going to elevate the possibilities for our athletes. 40% of our students are varsity athletes, 40% more of our students are intramural athletes. All of them will have access to this. And then it's going to also be a place for wellness for the entire class. And it's going to mean, just from a practical standpoint, that our athletes and our non-athletes can train and work out together. It means our football players can all work out together if they want. It's going to be great. we're incredibly grateful to Ken Melman, 1988 graduate vice chair of our board.
When does that going to be shovel ready?
Well, we have immediately moved forward getting the appropriate permits. I'm told it can take us about 12 months to get the permits. So my dream is that we break ground at the end of 2026.
This is a very exciting weekend in Franklin Marshall athletically. The football team playing for the conference title today against Johns Hopkins. The women's volleyball team will also take on the Blue Jays tomorrow for the Centennial title. You mentioned 40% of Franklin Marshall student body involved in athletics. Obviously, intercollegiate athletics, a very important part of the collegiate life.
Athletics is a huge part of the life of Franklin Marshall College. I have to say that's something I knew coming in, but have really come to appreciate since I started as president. And one of the things that the new Melman Center is going to do is to really start a new chapter for athletics. I believe, and Ken Melman, who's a real partner in this work, believes too, that this is just the start of things that we can do for athletics, both to support our facilities and also to support our coaches, and in the end to support the teams. And the way I think we're looking at it is that this is good from an athletic standpoint, but it's also good from the development stages that we find our students to be in, helping get them ready in all sectors across our society. Athletics can be really a core of that, and I'm excited to support it.
And we are thrilled that you took a few moments out of your busy day to join us here in the press box. Franklin Marshall's new president, Andrew Rich. Andy, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. You're watching the F&M Halftime Show on Diplomat TV.
I'm F&M Junior Brooke Proctor. I'm here to give you some advice to help you decide where you'll spend your next 4 years. Here are the top 5 questions we recommend asking yourself before deciding where you want to enroll as a first year. Does the college offer many of the fields of study that interest me broadly? While you don't need to know what you want to major in as a high school senior, you do want to make sure you choose a college that offers majors and minors in academic fields that you find most intriguing. Is the college the right size for my personality and interests? Some students prefer large institutions with thousands of students where they can meet new people every day, while others are more comfortable on smaller campuses where they can form close relationships with classmates and professors. Colleges can have student bodies as small as 350 and as large as 70,000. That is quite a range. What kind of opportunities are there once I step off campus? Some colleges are in the middle of big cities, while others are in rural areas where the college is the center of the community. Still, others, like F&M, are in small, walkable cities that offer a change of scenery from everyday campus life. Also, consider how close the campus is to businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies where you could potentially intern or volunteer down the road. Those experiences can set you up for immediate success after college, so access to such opportunities is critical. Is residential life a good fit for me? Your first year will likely be spent in a dormitory or residence hall where you will have one roommate and perhaps as many as 3. If you choose F&M, you'll land in a welcoming college house. But ask yourself, how do the colleges you are considering match you with roommates? Are the rooms comfortable? Is there easy access to laundry facilities? We also recommend scoping out how close the residential buildings are to academic buildings, campus eateries, student centers, and gyms. How does this college make me feel? At the end of the day, this is where you'll spend at least 8 months out of the year for the next 4 years. Is it a place you think you can call home? Do you like the community? If you can answer unequivocally yes to both of these questions, then you probably have a winner.
Got it locked up.
Tell me what it is that you need.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Welcome back to Shattuck Stadium on the campus of Franklin Marshall College. At the break, Johns Hopkins leads Franklin Marshall 21-14. Steve Ulrich with you, and we welcome you to the BSN Sports Halftime Show. You can get all your Spirit gear by visiting GoDiplomats.com. Want to know how you can get 20% off your next order and get exclusive access to secret promotions and insider specials? Well, it only takes a minute. Visit our store to sign up for alerts and to get exclusive deals. BSN Sports and Nike are proud sponsors of Diplomat Athletics, and we thank them for their continued support of our student athletes, as all proceeds go directly toward enhancing their experience. Visit Go Diplomats every day to see what's on sale so you can be one of our super fans. Johns Hopkins scored the first 21 points. Franklin Marshall came back to score 14. There's a look at your BSN in-game stats. Johns Hopkins dominated on the ground 95-13, but Franklin Marshall has been successful through the air, throwing for 128 yards. Diplomats' Ty Tremba intercepted one time. Individually for the Diplomats, Tremba 7 of 14, picked one time, 128 yards, and a 24-yard touchdown to Gary Lewis. Tremba has also rushed 9 times for 7 yards. Matt Eitner, the leading receiver for F&M, 3 catches for 67. Lewis, Harrison, Paris, and Zawatkis, each with 1 catch for the Diplomats. For Hopkins, Bay Harvey, 13 of 26 through the air, 122 yards. His favorite target has been Cole Crotty, 4 for 45. Jeff Schroeder, 3 catches for 29 yards and a touchdown. Robbie Enright, 3 for 22 and a score. Jeff Schroeder, 9 carries, 65 yards on the ground for the Blue Jays. Let's take a look at some first half highlights from around. Again, Johns Hopkins has dominated the first quarter of the first 4 games and jumped out with 3 quick scores. First is Harvey, looking at the top of the screen for Robbie Enright, who makes a nice catch. And then Harvey will roll to his right. Watch number 20 slip out of the backfield. And Harvey connects with Schroeder for the 1-yard touchdown reception. Hopkins led it 14-0. And when Harvey scored on this run behind his left guard, looked like Hopkins was going to run away with this one, leading 21-0. But the Diplomats would not quit. Tremba finds Matt Eitner for a big gain, just shy of the red zone. Then Tremba will look in the corner of the end zone. He's got Gary Lewis. Made it 21-7. After a stop by the F&M defense, Tremba once again throwing deep. Watch the adjustment by Eitner. Pulls it in around midfield. And then the senior quarterback from Slatington, Pennsylvania, steps up in the pocket. Delivers a 4th down conversion to Jack Harrison into the red zone. And knocking on the door with the ball in the 6. Tremba keeps it himself. Dives across the line into pay dirt. F&M trails Johns Hopkins by a score of 21-14. Now let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by D3 Playbook, a daily email that tells me what's going on in Division III. Sign me up. Subscribe to D3Playbook.com today for just less than 30 cents per day. D3 Playbook delivered to your email inbox every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Today in the Centennial Conference, the final day of the regular season, 4th quarter score, Ursinus on top of Carnegie Mellon by a score of 27-20 at the break. Gettysburg leads McDaniel by a score of 13-10. Muhlenberg on top of Dickinson by a score of 28-10. Other games that affect F&M in the NPI the NCAA Power Index. Lebanon Valley leads Albright 21-14 in the third quarter. F&M fans need to root for Lebanon Valley. Westminster all over St. Vincent 41-0 at half. Don't need to cheer much more for the Titans in that one. And Trinity of Texas leads Maryville 24-7. We'll get into more of those details as the second half continues. Harlemoff with the pooch kick. It's going to be fair caught by the Blue Jays at the 33-yard line as John Bechtel will pull that one in. Blue Jays start 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. For the last 4 games, Johns Hopkins led Ursinus 31-0 in the first half. Jumped out to a 31-0 lead on Gettysburg. Led Muhlenberg 20-0 in the first quarter. And led McDaniel 21-0 after just 19 minutes of play. Today, shot out to a 21-0 lead on F&M. But the Diplomats have battled back, looking for their first outright title since 1995, while the Blue Jays look to three-peat as Centennial champions. 1st and 10, Hopkins. Schroeder, lone setback, 2 tight ends on the right side. And Schroeder picks his way over the left side across the 35 down to the 37-yard line, pickup of 4, L.T. Kelly. And a host of Diplomat defensive linemen finish off Schroeder. 2nd and 6. Moore and Martini come to the near side. Crotty at the top of the screen with Enright. 2nd and 6. Harvey with time to throw, side armor to Schroeder, who has first down yardage right around midfield. Cecchio with the tackle, but the Blue Jays move the chains for the 12th time today. Hello to Robert Badway, class of 79, member of the F&M 79 football team, watching today from Atlanta, Georgia. We're doing the Diplomats, and Coach Tom Gilbert is doing well. I want to say hello to Ann and Andy Oliveri, the freshman, grandparents of F&M freshman Max Oliveri, watching from Plymouth, Massachusetts. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Ball on the 49. Moore fights his way into F&M territory across the 45 to about the 44-yard line. Moore, the sophomore from Toms River, New Jersey, 29 catches on the year, but was an outstanding running back at Toms River North High School, rushing for more than 2,700 yards. Moore now 2 carries, 28 on the day for Hop. Now out of the pistol. Schroeder lining up directly behind Harvey. To give to Schroeder. Met by Austin Hadley. Nice play by the junior from Coaldale, Pennsylvania. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. Blue Jays 3 for 5 on 3rd downs today. The F&M faithful, dressed in black, outfitted with cowbells, exhorting the defense to make a stand. Enright comes in motion. Schroeder gets the give, and coming off the edge, Rafe Carner, number 1, shoots in from the top of your screen. Gets Schroeder before he gets started. Let's see where the spot is. It will be short. It will be 4th and 1. Watch Carner. Makes the play. Wells Gillette, sophomore nose tackle from Marblehead, Marblehead, Massachusetts, comes in along with L.T. Kelly. Harvey, the 215-pound quarterback, will give to Schroeder. He is stopped cold. Diplomats hold. Turnover on downs. The inspired defensive stand. The head coach, Mike Fail, and defensive coordinator, Mike Furlong, wanted to see the big hit. And Hopkins is turned away, and now Franklin Marshall with great field position. With the ball on its own 44-yard line, first possession of the third quarter. Tremba gives to Valdez. The sophomore from East Meadow, New York, powers across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Give him 2, Newell on the stop. F&M keeping the same personnel on the field, trying to keep Hopkins from making any defensive substitutions. Hopkins basically running a 4-6-1 right now defensively. As adjustments were made at the break. Eitner starts in motion. Stops in the slot. Tremba under pressure. Newell wraps his arms around him. Tremba's able to get away in the direction of Valdez. Heady play by the senior. And will lead to 3rd and long. F&M 3 of 6 on third downs today. Blue Jays really not fearing Franklin Marshall's run game. F&M 13 carries, 15 yards on the day. F&M has been successful through the air when there is time to throw. And with the play clock now down to 8. Tremba marks out the blocking schemes with play clock at 3. Ty just gets the snap off in time. Gets flushed out. Tremba across midfield. Ball is fumbled, picked up by... Gets across the line to gain. Picks up first down yardage for F&M. Tremba took a big hit. Ball popped free, but Gary Lewis, Johnny on the spot, picks up the ball, moves the chains. Fortuitous bounce for the Diplomats. Timeout. Referee Scott Campbell comes in waving his hands. Now the officials are going to discuss whether or not Lewis should have been allowed to move forward after picking that ball up. Head coach Dan Wadika for the Blue Jays, as you can see in the light blue, stating his case. And we may find ourselves with a 4th and 1 as the Brain Trust gets together to make the call. Let's hear. Are we going to hear from our referee? Believe not. It will be 1st and 10 Diplomats. Dan Wadika, apoplectic. But to no avail. Diplomats in Blue Jay territory at the 44. 3 wide receivers on the near side. Tremba gives to Valdez. Newell, excuse me. The senior, 6'4", 240 pounds from Troy, Michigan. Xavier's dad, Robert, played football at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Good football family. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Ball on the Hopkins 42-yard line. First possession of the second half for the Diplomats after turning away the Blue Jays on downs. Tremba, designed run, but there's no room. He's met once again by Newell. Brings up 3rd down.
No gain. 3rd down coming up.
Diplomats 4 of 7 on 3rd downs today. 4 wide receiver set. Valdez is the lone setback. Tremba gets the play from the sideline with the play clock at 10. Hopkins with 7 in the box. Ty looks, right sideline. Lewis in and out of his hands. Wonderful battle today between Gary Lewis and Kevin Ola. That time Ola comes out the victor. Good throw by Tremba. Lewis, his hands not once, but twice before falling to the turf. That's going to bring out Harlamov in the punt unit. Harlamov's kicks, 2 kicks, 38.5 yards. He's going to angle this one along the left sideline. It's going to go out of bounds inside the 20, where the Blue Jays will take over 1st and 10. 8:41 to go, 3rd quarter. I want to say hello to the Gatewoods watching today from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, T-Town. Rooting on the Blue Jays. Susie, thank you for writing in. Gino Pagnozzi, one of the F&M's great quarterbacks back in the 80s, watching today from Old Tappan, New Jersey. Gino, thanks for writing in. Kelly Gibson, rooting on Kellen Gibson and the Blue Jays from Arizona, Ohio, D.C., and Baltimore. Kelly, thank you for the kind words. 1st and 10 Blue Jays, ball spotted on their own 15-yard line. Centennial Conference Football Championship and a low snap. Harvey's able to pick it up. He's going to tuck it under and pick up 1st down yardage. Bay Harvey, the first 3-time captain at Hop since Stu Markley back in 91, 92, 93, makes something out of nothing. For Vancho, finally makes the tackle. Picked up a nice block by John Bechtel. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Enright comes to the near side. Crotty at the top of the screen. Play fake. Harvey. Complete. Crotty. The F&M bench is saying he juggled it. A discussion here on the sideline. Let's wait on this one. An 18-yard gain if it stands. It is incomplete. Let's watch the replay. See if you can catch the juggle on the sideline. It's going to be right underneath our score bug, of course. See if we can get another angle. As Harvey looked for Crotty. Ball in his hands. Oscar Marks got a hand in there. Was determined the ball is incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down. Four wide receivers set for the Blue Jays. Schroeder, the lone back in the backfield. F&M with just 4 in the box. Expecting pass. Harvey is going to run. He's not going to get away from LT Kelly. And Marks comes in with the shoulder pads and finishes him off. 3rd down. Watch Kelly, 99, sheds the block. Gets those big mitts around Harvey and then takes him down by the left ankle. 3rd down. Call it 7. Line to gain is at 38. Now Harvey checks the play. Harvey under pressure. He's going to be dropped. Owen Banghart with the sack. The sophomore from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, makes the play. 4th down. Banghart able to shed the block of Cornacchio and drops Harvey. 1st sack of the day for Franklin and Marshall. Chase Alley, the junior from Fort Myers, Florida. Chase's brother, Austin, played football at Brown, graduated in 2024. And the left footer, low line drive. Now Barrow's going to field his at Hopkins 47. He's going to power his way down to the 41-yard line. Diplomats in great shape in Hopkins territory at the 41-yard line. Say hello to Don Gervais, class of 95, watching today's game from Wyoming. Don, an outstanding lacrosse player for the Diplomats, in the mid-90s. Don, thank you for writing in. Bob Hinkle, class of 63, wants to give a shout-out to any of his old F&M teammates who might be watching today. I want to say hello to Mark Slevin, watching today from Austin, Texas. Mark, one of the F&M's best kickers of all time. Rooting on the Diplomats from the capital of Texas. 1st and 10 Diplomats. Ball on the Hopkins 42-yard line. Diplomats trail 21-14. 6.5 minutes to go. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Play action pass. Tremba under pressure. Escapes right side. Now throws toward Eitner. In and out of his hands. Schondelmeyer on the coverage. I think Matt Eitner wishes he had another shot at that one. Watch again as Tremba, the escape artist, with Newell right on him. Schondelmeyer may have gotten a hand on that one. We have an injured Hopkins player on the field with 6:16 to go. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. You're watching F&M Football on Diplomat TV.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Centennial Conference Championship game. Johns Hopkins leads Franklin and Marshall 21-14. Injured player was Jack Smith, senior linebacker from Duxbury, Massachusetts. He's able to come to his feet and jog off the field. We'll see Smith back shortly, I'm sure. 2nd and 10. Diplomats. Ball on the Hopkins 42-yard line. Tremba just 7 of 17 today. 128 yards, been picked off one time. Also has thrown a 24-yard touchdown pass to Gary Lewis. Hopkins showing man coverage. 20 on the play clock, and Ty's going to take his good old time taking this snap. Now Tremba looks deep. He's got Gary Lewis. Complete. Lewis with the reception. Inside the 5-yard line. Lewis beats Schondelmeyer, and F&M knocking on the door, looking for the tying score. Watch Tremba, looking deep. Lewis makes the grab, for Carter Hogue could make the play. Now F&M 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Paris in the backfield. Lewis starts in motion. Tremba rolls right, throws in the end zone. He's going to throw it away. Hopkins snuffed that one out. Jack Harrison, the receiver in the end zone. I'm not sure if he was directed at him. It'll bring up 2nd and goal. Hopkins defense in the red zone this year has given up points 81% of the time. Giving up a touchdown 2 out of every 3 times into the red zone. Diplomats looking for the game-tying score against the number 3 ranked team in the country. Tremba runs behind Paris, and he's going to fight his way down to the 1 before finally Isaac Urquidy is able to wrestle him down. Got to give Tremba a lot of credit. The 205-pound quarterback had the 245-pounder Urquidy wrapped around him for a good battle. For Ty is finally yanked down by the jersey. On the doorstep, 3rd down. 2 tight ends. Paris now in a wildcat formation as Tremba comes out wide. Paris, we have a jump pass that's given away, and F&M started too early. That's going to go against the Diplomats. And F&M showed one of its best 2-point plays in the process.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 73 on the offense.
Chris
5-yard
Lowe,
penalty.
sophomore from Falls.
Still third down.
Unfortunately, got the early start. So we've seen Paris in the Wildcat formation throughout the season. Typically, he takes the ball and will run it. That was the first time we've seen the jump pass. And unfortunately, that play now has to probably go out of the F&M playbook. It's now 3rd and goal with the ball at the 6-yard line. Critical error for the Diplomats. Harrison starts in motion. Hopkins showing zone here inside the 10. Tremba tucks it under. Carries it to the end zone. Touchdown! Franklin and Marshall! Tremba extends the ball over the goal line. And F&M is within a point of the 3rd-ranked team in the country. Watch Tremba's effort. 6 points. Now Michael Fleming with the opportunity to make this a 21-all game. And I think head coach Dan Wadika might want to challenge this call. And if he does so, he's going to have to call timeout, and he will be. So, challenge on the field. We're going to have a video replay.
Timeout, Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins was challenging the call on the field of the touchdown. The play is under further
Head coach Dan Wadika looking at the scoreboard, saying that Tremba apparently did not get the ball over the goal line before he's down. So Franklin and Marshall fans, or even Johns Hopkins fans in this situation, if you'd like, go to GoDiplomats.com right now. You can give to the F&M Excellence Fund. If you would do so, we'd be able to have a pylon camera where we'd be able to show you exactly what happened on the goal line. We do not have a goal line camera. These are the best views you're going to see. These are the views that the officials are going to be looking at. Ty Tremba, a 6-yard run, which right now stands as a touchdown. It is under video review. The Centennial, one of the few conferences in Division III that does have video review for conference games. And as it stands right now, Hopkins coach Dan Wadika has called a timeout. If the touchdown stands, Hopkins will lose that timeout and lose the ability to challenge the rest of the game. If the play is overturned, Wadika will get the timeout back, and Franklin and Marshall will find itself in a 4th and goal situation at the 1-yard line. Here's another look. You be the judge. It's really hard to see if Tremba's knee could have been down. You'll see down there in the corner, Kevin Ola holding up the fist indicating 4th down. The call on the field is a Tremba touchdown. Right now, look down below, you can see the Franklin Marshall offense doing the same thing that the bench is doing. Looking over on the near side, underneath the video review tent, waiting for the decision from referee Scott Campbell. As we continue to wait, take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Final score, Ursinus knocks off Carnegie Mellon 27-20. Halftime, Gettysburg over McDaniel 13-10. 4th quarter, Muhlenberg on top of Dickinson by a score of 28-10. Still activity under the video review tent. A critical call in this game. And I know that Len Foxwell, a lecturer at Johns Hopkins, rooting on the Blue Jays, watching today from Baltimore, is anxious to find out the call. Once again, here it is. Tremba dives, extends the ball to the goal line. Is it good or is it not? Want to say hello to Jack Schondelmeyer's Aunt Jen, watching today's game from Columbus, Georgia. Schondelmeyer, excuse me. We'll get that right. And here comes the call. Breath is held. Side judge brings over the iPad to show Dan Wadika.
After further review, the runner did not score. The ball will be placed on the half-yard line. Third down.
Tremba ruled down just shy of the goal line. We've got 4th and goal. Hopkins gets to keep his timeout, gets to keep his challenge. Franklin and Marshall showed his 4th and goal play on a jump pass earlier from Paris. So here we go. 21-14. 4th down, Tremba out of the shotgun. 2 tight end set. Lewis, Zawadkis at the top of the screen. The play of the day so far. Tremba. He's not in. He's short. Hopkins holds. Flag on the play. And unfortunately, that may go against Franklin and Marshall, compounding the error by giving Hopkins 15 yards. Hopkins had left the field. This is going to go against Franklin and Marshall. Pretty much no doubt.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 40.
It's Hopkins. That ball will be placed half the distance to the goal line. That is number 40's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
We stand corrected.
First down.
Kelvin Gibson quickly ran off the field after committing the deed. So it will be marked half the distance to the goal, which moves it from the 1 to the half-yard line. Gibson, if he would commit a personal foul again during the course of the game, would be ejected. So high drama here in Lancaster. Hopkins turns away F&M at the goal line. 21-14 in favor of the Blue Jays. 3:58 to go, third quarter. Schroeder bounces off a tackler, powers his way across the 5 to the 7. Big 6-yard run by Schroeder, now 14 carries, 75 yards. Brings up 2nd and 4. Huge play that we'll have on repeat and replay over and over. As Tremba ruled down before he extended the ball across the goal line, erasing the game-tying touchdown. Now Schroeder again. Short gain for the senior from Rumson, New Jersey. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Say hello to Gabe Feliciano Munoz, class of 24 at Johns Hopkins, watching today's broadcast. Gabe, thank you very much for writing in. 3rd down, 3 yards on the play. Harvey in an empty set. Keenan shows blitz, now backs away. Hopkins going to have to change the play with the play clock at 5. Keenan comes on the blitz. Harvey slings it out to the left side, complete to Enright. Marks will knock him out of bounds, but not before the junior from Atherton, California, picks up 1st down yardage. Sidearm throw. Enright all by himself in the left flat. Now Martini comes wide to the right. Crotty in the right slot. 1st and 10, Hopkins. Ball on its own 18-yard line. After turning away Franklin Marshall on the goal line. Josh Moore. Hit by Wirtz. And then finished off by Cecchio. Short gain on the play. I want to say hello to Barbara Altman, former president of Franklin and Marshall, watching today's game from Eugene, Oregon.
2nd and 8.
Rooting on the Diplomats. Barbara, always good to hear from you. I want to say hello to Kevin Sweeney, friend and a teammate of former F&M coach Tom Blumenauer watching today from Lynchburg, Virginia. Coach Phelan's uncle was his defensive coordinator. Kevin, thank you for writing in. Second down, 8 yards to go. Play action. Harvey with time tries to escape the pocket. Hilly and Checchio stop him after a short gain. Going to bring up third down. Blue Jays 4 of 8 on third so far today. Hi to Mike Colbay, class of 1997, watching today from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Rooting on the Diplomats. I want to say hello to a few Hopkins women's soccer players. Ella Macco, Annie Sporting, and Carolyn Johnson watching today from Baltimore. Thank you, ladies. And good luck as Hopkins women's soccer continues its NCAA tournament run. Final 35 seconds of the third quarter. Harvey with time to throw. Keenan will stop him, but not before Harvey gets first down yardage right at the 30-yard line. Harvey has rushed for 333 yards and 5 scores entering the year. He's rushed for over 1,100 in his career while throwing for 6,700. And that will conclude the third quarter of action. We know you're not going away. Fourth quarter of action coming up for the Centennial Conference title. Hopkins 21, F&M 14. Come right back on Diplomat TV. Back live at Shattuck Stadium on the campus of Franklin and Marshall College. Diplomats trailing Johns Hopkins 21-14. Hopkins scored the first 21 points of the game. F&M scored the last 2 touchdowns and was rebuffed on a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. Now Hopkins with possession. Start out the final 15 minutes. Harvey misses badly, looking for Enright. Carner on the coverage. Steve Ulrich on the coverage. Diplomat TV, part of the Centennial Conference Digital Network. First time in the 43-year history of the conference that the outright title is determined between the 2 teams who are undefeated in the final game of the regular season. The winner gets the boot and the berth to the NCAA tournament. Second down, 10 yards to go. Harvey rolls right, has room to run, gets around Wirtz. Now Barrow tries to stand him up, but Harvey picking up good yardage, going to bring up third and short. Just gets around Wirtz. May have been a little bit of a hold there by Schroeder. Hopkins 5 of 9 on conversions on third down today. Now Schroeder leaves the field. Hopkins will go with a 2 tight end set. Bechtel and Linder. 2 tight ends. 3 wide receivers. Harvey, designed run. Tries the right side, powers right to the 40-yard line. It's going to depend on the spot. Linesman comes in, just put the ball down. And the chains are not moving. It is fourth. Now the chains move. Took them a darn long time to make the call. You didn't see either official kind of signaling for the chains to move until the last possible moment. 1st and 10 Blue Jays, 16th time. Hop has moved the chains today. Schroeder running behind Carnaccio. Gets across the 45-yard line, pick up a 5. Schroeder now 16 carries, 81 yards on the day. Schroeder now with 938 on the year. He approaches 1,000 for the season and 2,500 for his career. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. Linder goes in motion. Schroeder tripped up by Cecchio. Shy of the line to gain. Going to be about a yard short. Going to bring up 3rd and 1. Hopkins using his big offensive line. Nwosu at 280. Carnaccio at 290. Tyrundit 265. Brophy 250. Pearson 300. 3 all-conference linemen for the Blue Jays up front. And a 3rd and 1 situation. F&M with a down 3. Albero comes up on the outside. Cecchio sneaking up on the outside. Give. Schroeder. 1st down. Blue Jays. Keenan makes the initial stop. But the Blue Jays, with the 1st down, keeps the drive alive. Say hello to former Franklin Marshall Athletic Director Bill Marshall. Doc watching today's game from Minnesota. Doc, always good to hear from you. We'll say hello to Marty Garvin, tuning in from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Rooting on the Blue Jays. First and 10. In the Diplomat territory at the 47. Schroeder, another carry, breaks through. Patient running by the senior from Rumson, New Jersey. As he gets across the 35, or gets to the 35-yard line, 12 yards. Watch how Schroeder picks his hole and dances through for a gain of 12. 11 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Harvey, quarterback draw. Hilly in on the tackle along with Keenan. Pickup of 6. Say hi to Eddie and Tim Harrison along with Mike Oxmall watching today in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Rooting on the Diplomats. Bob Weissner, Atlanta, Georgia. Class of 80 for Hop, rooting on the Blue Jays. Glad that you're all with us. The eyes of the nation watching the 3rd-ranked team in the country. Battle number 24, Franklin and Marshall. 21-14 Blue Jays. Steve Ulrich on Diplomat TV. Schroeder over the right side. Behind the block of Garrett Brophy. 4 yards on the play. Now Kelly comes back in. At nose tackle, Gillette started to come out. He's going to replace Keenan. F&M's going with this big defensive package as Hopkins lines up with this jumbo package. Crotty comes wide to the near side, defended by Marks. Tush push coming as Brophy gives a little shove to Harvey. Harvey is, I thought he had 1st down yardage. The ball was marked short of the 25. Head coach Dan Wadika insisting that it was 1st down yardage. It's 4th and 1. And the Blue Jays jump. Illegal procedure. Something about 4th and 1 plays, Jeff. The Diplomats on 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line with the false start. The Blue Jays 4th and 1 on the F&M 26 with the misstep. And now the Blue Jays will go with the wide receiver package as the jumbo lineup comes out. Hopkins going 5 wide. Empty backfield for Harvey. 4th down. 6 yards to go. Line to gain is the 25. Timeout. Called by Franklin and Marshall. We'll take timeout as well. Stay with us. 21-14 Hop. We'll be right back.
And a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
He's on the 30-yard line.
The crowd speaks for itself. 4th down, 6 yards to go. 5 wide receiver set. Harvey, empty backfield. Moore comes in motion. Blitz is on. Harvey under pressure. He's dropped. Albero. Hilly. Sack. Diplomats take over. What a gutty call by Franklin and Marshall. Sent the house. Albero, the first to hit him. Hilly finishes him off. And the Diplomats with the ball on their own 44-yard line. It's Tremba time. Tie in the 4th quarter this year has led to 4 game-winning scores in the 4th quarter. Can the senior from Slatington, Pennsylvania do it again? Paris lines up on his right shoulder. Tremba throws. Harrison, complete. First down, Diplomats. Gain of 22 to Jack Harrison, the junior from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Second catch of the day for Harrison. Tremba looks to throw again. Has Lewis in the end zone. Touchdown! Franklin and Marshall! Ty Tremba, Gary Lewis, 34 yards. Diplomats within a point. Watch again. 38th career touchdown catch for Gary Lewis, the senior from Summit, New Jersey. And now the all-important extra point to tie this one up. 8:09 remaining. Fleming's kick is up. It is good. Hopkins scored the first 21 points of the game. Looked like a blowout. The Diplomats have come all the way back. 34 yards. Tremba to Lewis. Beautiful throw. Better catch. Franklin and Marshall scoring drive. 2 plays, 56 yards. Bing, bang, boom. We are tied at 21. We've had so many fantastic finishes between these two teams over the years. 40 years ago, Diplomats beat Hopkins 29-28. Brad Ramsey, the game-winning touchdown, and the two-point conversion pass to Ken Scalette. Matt Eisenberg, 30 years ago, the 1-yard run with 17 seconds to go. As the Diplomats pulled that one out. Harlamoff with the pooch kick. It's going to be fielded by Semrad. He's going to be wrestled down at the 30-yard line. Buckle up, kids. 8:01 to go. We are tied at 21. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Bringing you the words. Jeff Stout, Executive Director, bringing you the pictures of today's battle for the Centennial Conference Championship. The winner gets the trophy and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Johns Hopkins, the two-time defending Centennial champions, facing perhaps its biggest test of the year. 1st and 10. Ball on the Hopkins 30-yard line. Harvey, an empty set. And we are going to get a false start. And the Franklin Marshall crowd believes they were the reason, and they are coming to life on their feet, dressed in black. The Student Athlete Leadership Council called for a blackout, and right now, the black-clad partisans for the Diplomats rooting on their team as Harvey looks, throws right flat in and out of the hands of Josh Moore. 2nd down. Harvey now 15 of 21 on the day, 144 yards. Want to say hello to Owen Hartman, class of 24 at Johns Hopkins, watching today's game from Miami, Florida. Quick hello to Pat Thorogood, captain of the 1978 Diplomat team, watching today from Red Bank, New Jersey. Harvey with time to throw, winds, throws deep. Incomplete, looking for Chad Martini. Oscar Marks on the coverage. Martini had 6 inches on Marks. A little worried at first that Martini was going to come down with it. Marks is looking almost a fair catch it. But Marks, the first year from Summit, New Jersey, makes the play 3rd and 15. Hopkins, 7 of 12 on 3rd downs today. 4 wide receiver set, trips to the near side. Schroeder lined up as the running back. Harvey surveys, hits Moore, dropped by Albero. 4th down. Moore on the crossing pattern. Well, there's Albero to finish him off. And Chase Alley will come on for his 3rd punt of the day, averaging 28 yards per kick. Albero back in to return the kick. He's going to field it on one bounce to the 25. Chris across the 30 to the 31, and the Diplomats will take over. 1st and 10. 7 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Want to say hello to Dave and Eileen Fleschel, watching today from Great Neck, New York. John Rogers, an outstanding defensive back for Franklin and Marshall, graduated in 89, parent of Sean Rogers, outstanding lacrosse player, class of 18, watching today from Virginia. Thanks for writing in, John. Graham Bowers, class of 25, Johns Hopkins, watching from Baltimore. We know you're all enjoying this one. 7:05 to go, 1st and 10, ball on the F&M 31-yard line. Tremba escapes the pocket, dives toward the 40. Will Seibert stops him there after a gain of 8. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Want to say hello to a longtime friend, Donnie Marsh, one of the all-time great basketball players of Franklin Marshall, class of 79, tuning in the championship game from Hoover, Alabama. Donnie, always good to hear from you. You got to be enjoying this one. 21-21 for the Centennial Conference Championship. A pair of top 25 teams. Hopkins, ranked third in the country, has given up the last 21 points. Tremba, right side. Eitner can't pull it in. Third down. Tremba now 10 of 23, but he's thrown for 225 yards. Franklin Marshall, 25th in the country. Hopkins, ranked third in the country. Both 6-0 in the Centennial Conference. The championship trophy on the line. Third down, 2 yards to go. F&M 4 of 9 on thirds today. Give to Paris, and he's got nowhere to go. Difficult to say who made that tackle. Hodge was in there, Urquidy was in there, Newell was in there, Bordeaux was in there. A host of Hopkins defenders making the play. Fourth down. Alex Orecchio, the first year from Old Tappan, New Jersey, will await the punt from Ivan Harlamoff. 5:40 and counting. Harlamoff end over end kick, kicking away from Orecchio, and not Harlamoff's best kick of the day. That ball is going to be marked out of bounds at the 40-yard line, just 25 yards net on the kick for the Diplomats. Johns Hopkins has not lost a regular season game in the month of November since 2007. 20 consecutive regular season home games since losing to F&M in 2007, but has not lost a regular season home game in a long time. The Blue Jays nearly unbeatable in November. And right now, find themselves 60 yards away from the go-ahead touchdown. Schroeder in the pistol. Gets the handoff. Dances along the right side for Cecchio. Gets in there and makes the stop. Evancho and Albero help with the finish. Other scores that will affect F&M's NCAA Power Index today. Lebanon Valley and Albright with 7 minutes to go. That game is tied at 28. If you're an F&M fan, you want Lebanon Valley to win that game. That's why we bring that up to you. 5 minutes and counting. Harvey, play action. Looks left, throws. Incomplete. As the ball hit the ground before Enright pulled it in. Watch again as the coaching staff is looking to the sideline at the scoreboard to see if they want to challenge the call from line judge Nicholas Coleman. 3rd and 10. 7:13 to go. Or 7-13 on third down, Johns Hopkins. 4:53 on the clock. 5 wide receiver set. Will F&M blitz in the empty backfield. Here they come. Evancho hits Harvey as he throws. Ball is caught. What an unbelievable catch by Alex Orecchio. Evancho made the hit. Harvey didn't have everything he wanted on it, but Orecchio made the adjustment. In the first year from Old Tappan, New Jersey, his biggest catch of the season. Ball on the 31-yard line of F&M, 1st and 10 Hopkins, 4:25 and counting. Harvey, 17 of 25, $1.76 today. Empty backfield again, 2 tight end set. Harvey's going to run it. He'll be wrestled down. Austin Hadley stops him after a gain of 3. Now it looks like it's going to be brought back to the 29, gain of 2. Here's a replay of that catch by Orecchio. Look at him adjust before Marks could turn around. Want to say hello to former Franklin Marshall outstanding linebacker and baseball pitcher, Tim Sheridan, watching today's game from Philadelphia. Tim, always good to hear from you. 2nd and 8, 3:22 to go. Pass in the flat, Moore grabs it, but Marks makes the initial hit, stops him cold. Wirtz and Keenan finish him off. Brings up 3rd and medium. Talk about divided loyalties. Kevin Colder, F&M class of 72. Brian Colder, Hopkins class of 77. Watching today's game from the San Francisco Bay Area. Hello to the Colder brothers. 3rd down. Call it 7. Two wide receivers, top of the screen, 2 to the bottom. Schroeder lined up on the left side of Harvey. Harvey throws, looking for Crotty, incomplete. Marks on the coverage, 4th down. Ball on the 28-yard line. Brad Paxton has the range. Will they send out the field goal unit? Yes, they will. Brad Paxton, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida, with the opportunity to give his side the lead. 7 of 7 on the year. His career long is 39 for the lead. His kick is up. It's short. Diplomats will take over. 1st and 10. 2:27 to go. Once again, Jeff, I'm going to ask you to pull it up. It's Tremba time. The senior quarterback from Franklin Marshall has had 4th quarter magic all season long, including last week. 5 plays, 75 yards for the game-winning score against Carnegie Mellon. Can Tremba do it again and knock off number 3? Tremba pitches it ahead to Paris. Paris, pickup of 6, brings up 2nd, 4, flag on the play. And from the Joy in the F&M sideline, that may go against Hop.
Face mask, number 5, White.
Face mask.
15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic
15 more yards for the
down.
Diplomats. 1st down. If you're just joining us from around the D3 Nation, you've missed a great one today. Number 3, Franklin and Marshall. Number 3, Johns Hopkins. Number 25, Franklin and Marshall. Embroiled in a 21-21 brawl for the Centennial Conference Championship. Hopkins scored the first 21 points. F&M has scored the last 21. The Diplomats have been turned away on 4th and goal at the 1. And now the F&M offense with the ball on its own 49-yard line. 2 timeouts for F&M with the 2-minute timeout as well. Tremba looking deep. Incomplete. Looking for Eitner. Carter Hogue on the coverage. Hogue, the senior from Dallas, Texas. The CEO of his own applied sciences company, creating data-driven innovation in the field of sporting equipment. He has Kayvon Thibodeau of the Giants as one of his newest advisors, and he made the play there on Eitner, 2nd and 10. 2:13 on the clock. Tremba looks to the sideline with the play clock down to 5. Short drop. Under pressure. Tremba. Sacked. Loss of 4 on the play. Urquidy, the first team All-Centennial defensive lineman, records the sack. And we are at the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left We know you're not going anywhere. We're back after a short timeout. Centennial Conference Championship on the line on Diplomat TV. Together, we are driven.
1, 2, 3.
To motivate. To challenge. To lead. Every practice. Every play. Every day. Every season. 11 schools. Together in competition. We are the Centennial Conference. Third down, 14 yards to go. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. Diplomats with the ball on their own 45-yard line. Need to get to the Hopkins 41 to keep this drive alive. 4 wide receiver set. Logue calling out Carter Hogue, threatening to blitz, showing blitz. Hopkins bringing the pressure. Tremba escapes, and he's going to be dropped by Hogue at the 42-yard line. First hit coming from Sawyer Olson. Got Tremba around the helmet. Ty was able to escape. As you'll see here, Olson has him around the head. But now Hogue will come in. Nearly strips the ball, and it's going to force a 4th down situation. F&M 1 of 2 on 4th downs today, but given the field position right now, it's going to be up to Ivan Harlamoff to pin back the Blue Jays. Timeout on the field called by the Blue Jays, $1:50 to go. Each team with 2 timeouts. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV, part of the Centennial Conference Digital Network. We invite you to stay with us at the conclusion of today's game for the presentation of the Centennial Conference Championship Trophy. Hopkins looking to get it for the 3rd straight year. Franklin Marshall looking for his first championship since 2017. Harlamoff will get it away, and he shanks it again. Rather than kicking it to Orecchio, Harlamoff's kick will go out of bounds at the 38-yard line, 17 yards on the punt for a kicker who's averaging 40 yards per kick on the year. If you have written into us, get a shout out. We thank you very much. We may not be able to get to you by the end of this broadcast as we stay focused on the game, but we appreciate everyone who is tuned in today on Diplomat TV. We know you're enjoying this one as much as we are. 1 minute, 44 seconds to go. Hopkins 62 yards away from a Centennial title. Harvey throws over the middle, complete to Moore. Moore, 1st down yards across midfield before being upended by Albero. Pickup of 13. Harvey, 19 of 28. 190 on the day. Fantastic finish coming up between these 2 teams. Harvey looks to throw. Can't find anybody. He's wrapped up by Austin Hadley. Hadley, the junior from Coaldale, Pennsylvania. Stops Harvey after a gain of 1. Inside a minute to go. Hop has 2 timeouts. Harvey looks left, now decides to tuck it in. Harvey has room to run. He's going to slide down at the 34-yard line. Timeout. Oops, just going to stop to move the chains. Clock is running. Down to 45 seconds. Ball at the 34. 4 wide receiver set. The give to Schroeder. Schroeder slips 1 tackle. Hilly wraps him up at about the 28-yard line. We saw Brad Paxton miss from 45 earlier. His career long is 39 yards. He probably needs another 8. Harvey slings one, complete, Enright. Brought down as Checchio and Camello stop him at the 21-yard line. Timeout, Hopkins, 11.6 seconds to go. You can't ask for more drama for the Centennial Conference Championship. The Diplomats and the Blue Jays tied at 21. Here's Enright being wrestled down. If you were to bring on Paxton right now, it would be right at his career long at 39 yards. Jeff Schroeder has carried 22 times for $115 today. Do you give it to him with your one time out? Bay Harvey, 17 carries, 41 yards. Do you let your big quarterback do the damage and get closer? If you're defensive coordinator Mike Furlong, what do you call right here? Do you sell out on the blitz? First and 10, although that doesn't matter with 11.6 seconds to go. 4 wide receivers, Crotty in the slot at the top of the screen. Harvey will keep it. He's got room. He's across the 15. He dives forward to the 13, and now it's Brad Paxton time. The sophomore from Tampa, Florida, with the chance to win the Centennial Conference Championship for his team. Timeout, Blue Jays. We will keep it right here. An unbelievable game between these two teams. Comes down to the right foot of the sophomore kicker, Brad Paxton. Do want to include one more shout out to an old friend, Matt Howell from Pittsburgh. Matt, who worked in the athletic communications office in Dickinson back in the 90s when yours truly was manning the Centennial Conference office. Matt, for your first Centennial game you've seen in years, you picked a darn good one. Here we go. It all comes down to this. Claude Strad is your long snapper. Your holder is Ethan Lawler. 30 yards for the Centennial Conference Championship. And an undefeated regular season for the Blue Jays. Timeout, F&M. Gee, did that surprise you at all? Let the sophomore kicker think about it. High drama here at Shattuck Stadium. Steve Ulrich with you on Diplomat TV. 21-21. Number 3, Johns Hopkins, 9-0 on the season. Number 25, Franklin and Marshall, 8-1 on the year. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by D3 Playbook. Ursinus topples Carnegie Mellon 27-20. Gettysburg ends the year with a victory over McDaniel 36-23. Muhlenberg topples Dickinson 30-27. In 2 games that affect F&M, Lebanon Valley and Albright tied at 28. Westminster over St. Vincent 57-14. Here we go. We'll let the crowd tell you all you need to know as Brad Paxton lines up for the Centennial Conference Championship kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! Keenan picks it up. He laterals to Hilly. Hilly picks it up, laterals into Chris Albero. Albero has room around the right side, and Chris should just go down. He thought about throwing it across the field, but the Diplomats have life. We're going to overtime. The kick is blocked. It looked like Wirtz got in there, but I'm not sure. As we decided who got the credit for that, looked like Matt Wirtz came off the edge. The senior from Pittsburgh, Mount Lebanon High, of all the plays he's made in his 4 years here in Lancaster, that may have been the biggest. We are going to overtime. Johns Hopkins last played an overtime game in 2017, winning at Washington Lee by a score of 32-29. Since Division III college football has instituted overtime, Johns Hopkins is 3-2 overall. Franklin Marshall 5-5 in overtime games. Let's take a look at some second half highlights. Gary Lewis with the huge catch. Franklin Marshall in business at 21-14. Here's one of the key plays of the game. Tremba reached the ball at the line, but was ruled short, and Hopkins stopped on 4th down. That was the score tied at 21-14. F&M a key fourth quarter sack on Bay Harvey. And the Diplomats trailing by 7. Tremba over the middle. Jack Harrison in double coverage. Brings it down, and then the game-tying touchdown. That combination, Tremba to Lewis. We're tied at 21. Hopkins with one final try, but the field goal by Brad Paxton blocked, and we are tied at 21. Let's turn it over to our official, Scott Campbell.
I will toss the coin up again. That is heads. This is tails. I'll toss it up, let it hit the ground. But before I do, I want to know what you're going to call.
Heads.
Tails it is. You've won the toss, Franklin Marshall. What would you like to do? Franklin and Marshall has won the toss. They have chosen defense.
Johns Hopkins will get the ball first.
So which end of the field would you like to go from?
Franklin and Marshall.
All right, let's
in the history of overtime, the Diplomats are 5-5 overall, 2-2
bring them out.
in home games. Franklin and Marshall played a couple of overtime games 2 years ago, winning at Montclair 31-25 on a touchdown run from Dante Wilson, and then losing 48-45 at Muhlenberg. So the Diplomats and Johns Hopkins meeting for the first time in overtime in this storied history. What a day of Division III football we have had. So glad you have decided to spend part of your day with us. Steve Ulrich on Diplomat TV, part of the Centennial Conference Digital Network. The Centennial Conference outright title. At stake for the first time in 43 years. We have two 6-0 undefeated teams playing for the league title on the final day of the regular season. And now, 60 minutes does not decide it. 1st and 10 Blue Jays. Pistol formation. Schroeder lining up right behind Harvey. Schroeder gains 4. Big day today for Jeff Schroeder. 23 carries, 119 yards for the 5'11", 190-pound senior. Now over 2,500 career yards. He's been their workhorse. 2nd and 6. Schroeder gets it again. Runs behind Carnaccio and Nwosu. Just short of the line to gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Huge play coming up. Brad Paxton has missed 2 field goals for the Blue Jays. Short from 39, blocked from 30. And now Schroeder comes out of the game. 2 tight ends set, 3 wide receivers. This seems like it's Bay Harvey time. The senior quarterback. Claps twice. Dives up the middle. Right at the 15. If it's a left foot spot by the lineman, he's short. And it's going to bring up 4th down. What do you do if you're head coach Dan Wadika? Watch the replay. You be the line judge. Short of the 16. And the Blue Jays are going to go for it. 4th down. 1 yard to go in overtime. F&M will get the ball after this. Harvey. 1st down and more. Inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line for the 6'2", 215-pounder from Lenk, Switzerland, Bay Harvey. Not surprisingly, Bay Harvey, the first player from Switzerland ever to play at Johns Hopkins, with the big run. Harvey is 20th carry of the day. 1st and goal. Ball at the 8-yard line. Harvey again, the lone in an empty backfield. He will carry. And he will be wrestled to the ground. Sam Keenan makes the stop for the Diplomats. Keenan's had a big day today, 13 tackles. Hello, Dom Rossi. Franklin Marshall, outstanding linebacker, watching today's game. Thank you for writing in. In overtime. 2nd and goal. Ball on the 6-yard line. Schroeder now in the backfield along with Harvey. Harvey pulls it out, throws in the end zone, touchdown, Crotty. A bullet from Harvey to his junior wide receiver, Cole Crotty, and Hopkins back in front, 27-21. Just a simple jab step, goes to the post. And Crotty beats Marks. And now Paxton with the all-important extra point. Out of the hold of Lawler. Kick is up, and it is good. Blue Jays 28, Diplomats 21. F&M will need a touchdown and an extra point to keep this game going, or a touchdown and a 2-pointer to win it. A thriller today here at Shattuck Stadium for the Centennial Conference Championship. The winner gets the trophy, the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. A Hopkins loss, Blue Jays are in the tournament. No need to worry. Franklin and Marshall will have some nervous moments should the Diplomats fall short, but F&M has shown it can play with the top teams in the country, pushing the number 3 ranked Blue Jays to the brink today. 3 wide receiver set. 2 tight ends. Paris is the lone setback. Tremba will do what Bay Harvey did, just keeps it over the left side, following the block of Trip Ready. Pickup of 3 brings up 2nd and 7. There's a Johns Hopkins player on the field, and I believe he is cramping up.
Official timeout for an injured Johns Hopkins player.
Watch the replay. Or not. Just a reminder, Franklin Marshall football on Diplomat TV, brought to you by Nike, the official athletic supplier for F&M Athletics. BSN Sports. Visit our sideline store for all your Diplomat game day apparel at GoDiplomats.com. D3 Playbook. No publication covers Division III quite like D3 Playbook. Subscribe today at D3Playbook.com. Our thanks to viewers like you for your donations to the Diplomat Excellence Fund. Because of your support, we can continue to keep broadcasts like this one and others free on Diplomat TV. We thank you. If you've enjoyed the broadcast today, maybe after the game's over, go to GoDiplomats.com. Throw us a buck or two. Maybe we can get a pylon camera for you, Jeff. But thank you all for joining in today. What a game this has been. Diplomats need a touchdown and a conversion. First overtime. Ball on the 22-yard line, 2nd and 7. 4 wide receivers. Lewis lined up tight to the left tackle. Tremba looks right. He's going to throw in the end zone for Harrison. Touchdown, Diplomats! Jack Harrison from Ty Tremba. And the Diplomats are going to go for the win. Tremba, his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The senior quarterback has survived 5 sacks. And his 3rd touchdown today makes it 28-27. F&M will go for the win. We are in the first overtime. Hopkins scored, kicked the extra point. Harrison with a touchdown grab. And now it comes down to 1 play for the Centennial Conference Championship. Timeout, F&M. Luckily, Jeff, my hair turned white a long time ago. There's a lot of gray hairs being grown today as the Diplomats and the Blue Jays have played a classic. You know, you often hear the words instant classic thrown around. This is truly one of them. This is without a doubt, I think everyone here would tell you, the best game we've had at Shattuck Stadium since the facility opened in 2017. F&M crowd dressed in black, responding to the Student Athlete Leadership Council call for a blackout, rooting for F&M to win its 1st Centennial title since 2017. Its 8th overall. It comes down to 1 play. 1 play for the championship. Sawatkis and Lewis go to the top of the screen. Shivas and Shutt, the 2 tight ends, to the bottom of the screen. Paris is the running back for the Centennial title. The Diplomats win it! Franklin and Marshall, Centennial Conference champions! Students are pouring on the field. Franklin and Marshall beats the number 3 ranked team in the country, 29-28. Franklin and Marshall to the NCAAs. You couldn't write a better script. Franklin and Marshall on senior day, trailing 21-0. Lewis Paris, the hero. Franklin and Marshall, for the first time in school history, going to the NCAA tournament. No need to worry about the NPI now, as the 2 teams line up to shake hands. Stay with us for the post-game trophy celebration as the Blue Jays go down to defeat 29-28 in overtime. Franklin and Marshall head coach Mike Phelan becomes the first-year coach in program history to win 9 games in a year, and joins Jack Hollenbach, Woody Spinagle, Bob Curtis, Tom Gilbert, and John Troxel as coaches who have won 9 games in a season. Let's take a look at the final team stats. Franklin Marshall could not run the ball today, but the Diplomats could air it out. 250 yards for Ty Tremba, Not the most accurate day for the senior quarterback, 12 of 25, but 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2 to Gary Lewis, who had 3 catches for 96. Jack Harrison, 3 catches for 65. And the touchdown that set up the game-winning 2-point conversion for the Blue Jays. Bay Harvey, 21 of 30 through the air for 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. Crotty, Schroeder, and Enright with touchdown catches. Jeff Schroeder, workhorse day for the senior, 24 carries, 123 yards for the Blue Jays. Defensively, Blue Jays led by Jack Smith and Will Cyber with 7 stops apiece. Connor Hilly and Sam Keenan, hats off to Sam Keenan on his senior day. Hilly and Keenan both with 13 tackles on the day. Austin Hadley with 10 as the Diplomat team comes over to celebrate with the student body and their parents. As the Diplomats celebrate the Centennial Conference Championship. A team that trailed the number 3 team in the country 21-0. Midway through the second quarter, the Diplomats showed their character, showed their pride and poise to come back and beat Hop 29-28. Let's take a look at some highlights. Tremba, under pressure all day, finds Lewis to tie it up at 21. Brad Paxton had a chance to win it, but the kick is blocked. Matt Wirtz coming off the edge in overtime. Harvey throws a rocket, a low-in pattern to Cole Crotty. The extra point made it 28-21. 2nd and 7. Tremba looks in the right corner. Jack Harrison goes up, pulls it in, makes it 28-27. Mike Phelan goes for 2. Tremba watches Lewis Parris go out in the right flat. Tremba to Parris all alone. And Franklin Marshall wins the Centennial Conference Championship. The Diplomats beat Johns Hopkins 29-28. And now we turn our attention to the middle of the field, where the Centennial Conference Championship trophy will be presented.
Presentation. Here to present the championship trophy, Centennial Conference Executive Director, Portia Hoig. Let's have a great big round of applause for one of the best conference championship games you can imagine. These 2 teams gave us quite a show. How about a nice hand for both teams? We would like to, at this time, recognize the Centennial Conference runners-up from Johns Hopkins University. Congratulations to head coach Dan Watica and the Blue Jays on a terrific 9-1 record. How about a nice round of applause for Johns Hopkins University? The fans with today's victory, the Franklin and Marshall Diplomats, have clinched the Centennial Conference title, and with that, an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And now we introduce to you the 2025 Centennial Conference football champions from Franklin and Marshall College. Team captains Sam Keenan, Gary Lewis, and Ty Tremba will be accepting the championship trophy, as they already have. So fans, we thank you for attending
as the Franklin
our
Marshall
championship
football
game.
Team sings and celebrates his first Centennial Conference Championship since 2017. Let's give you a little bit of update on what's going to happen over the next day or so. Franklin Marshall receives the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Franklin Marshall is in the 40-team field. Looking at the live updating of the NCAA Power Index, courtesy of our friends, the Snyder brothers at D3 Datacast, Right now, Franklin and Marshall jumped from number 21 to number 10. Most likely, if that holds, Franklin and Marshall will have a first-round bye and not play next week. And if this holds true, the Diplomats will be home Saturday, November 29th, here at Shattuck Stadium against an opponent to be determined. So the Diplomats most likely will be here the Saturday after Thanksgiving for a contest. The Division III field will be announced tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. The bracket will be revealed. Johns Hopkins is going to be in the field. There's no doubt about that. Hopkins, according to our friends at D3 Datacast, have dropped to number 7 overall. That's going to get them certainly within the field. Will Muhlenberg get in? Muhlenberg currently number 27. We could be talking 3-team Centennial. You can catch all the information either by going to ncaa.com or centennial.org or godiplomats.com tomorrow afternoon to get all your NCAA playoff information. But if I were a wagering man, we're going to be back here 2 weeks from today. Franklin and Marshall with a home game in the second round of the NCAA tournament. That will do it for us here in what has become an instant classic. If you're an F&M football parent, player, fan, alum, we know you're going to be watching this on replay, and darn well you should. For all of us associated with athletic communications, for our camera operators, for our director, Justin Grube, for our executive producer, director, Jeff Stout, who does a marvelous job for all of us, for my partner, Scott Lang, recovering in the hospital, I'm Steve Ulrich. Diplomats, champions of the Centennial Conference, beat Hopkins 29-28.